All right, so they're just figuring out the pick order. So that works out a little bit all right. So we're in...
Wait, did they already... Did you guys...
Ich habe...
Okay, tell me, Viper.
Ich
What
habe Seize the Hump taxt.
Du nimmst Seize the Hump?
Ja, stimmt.
What?
So gut, hä?
Oh.
I have no idea what
Oh,
they're saying.
du liebst
Oh ja.
das Karten. Ha?
Mein Herz pumpt gerade sehr
Dein
stark.
Herz pumpt.
Das stimmt.
Pum, pum, pum.
I'll take Graveyards.
Was?
Seize the Hump,
Ja,
the
warum?
Graveyards from Jordan.
Das überrascht
Wieso?
dich. Das überrascht
The
dich,
hump
oder?
has indeed been seized.
Oh,
Das ist
you
nicht
know I
gut.
love it when he
Yes,
sees the hump.
I'm going
Gotta seize
to
that hump.
Das ist nicht
ban
gut.
Tidepool.
TaToH, the Viper.
Nein, keine Haberich.
I have no
Kein
idea what they
Zeitpunkt
are
für dich.
saying.
Ah, okay.
Kollege.
Das ist nicht gut.
Das heißt,
Das ist traurig.
das ist
Traurig.
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 Traurig. Traurig.
Nicht
This
gut.
is cute. I like it. They're learning together.
Viper.
Or I
Ich
should say he's teaching
hab
Viper. Jordan knows the
äh,
language.
Prärie
Unfortunately, not
Nee.
the rest of
Colorado
you.
gebannen.
There we go. Prechi is back in again.
Or prairie.
Viper, why do you do
You know,
that?
Depending where you're from.
Being a
Did you wanna
native
pick
of
any of them?
the real
I'm just
prairie,
picking
it's
random
prairie.
here. Oh, you want to? Okay, I can ban something else.
What a dick.
Viper's
I
glasses
would
are
go
broken.
for, Viper,
No
let
more
me
El
think,
Dorado?
man.
Take your time, bro. It's not like we're running overtime.
Flooded
It's okay,
cross.
that movie wasn't that great anyway.
Was?
Flooded Cross.
That's your second ban?
No, that's
your
my
pick?
second map.
Ah, okay. No, it's your ban.
Wait, I understand this language.
What type of question is that?
Ich weiß nicht.
Use your brain, man.
Mine.
Okay, Felix, are you ready? Overlay guy. Okay, I will
Wait, so what was game 2 again?
size the hump
No, you don't size the hump, you
Graveyards?
seize the hump.
Seize that hump.
and
The graveyards fit you well, bro.
Oh! The burn.
look at him. Look
Alright.
at this guy.
Viper's
That
showing
makes
those
even more
teeth.
fun.
Let's.
I will go
I'd rather
for
Jordan
a
shows
side
teeth.
fortress.
Let's be real.
Whoa.
Yeah, come on. We need to put that
Come
in the
at me,
interview.
man.
Not too shabby, bro.
I'm gonna show you some.
Alright.
Come
see.
to daddy.
Look, good map. We've had great games
that's
on
too
it.
far.
So I'll
Oh,
just
yeah.
get it out of the way.
Yeah.
I just
Okay,
hope we
yeah.
make it that far.
Sorry.
Let's play some rehydration. I mean, it's game 5, so we're not gonna play it. So
You don't think you will make it?
Oh man.
okay.
You're already ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, I already...
Yep, you've done your part.
I've done my job.
I'm gonna kick your
Okay,
ass.
I'm done.
Feel your motivation, bro.
We can leave now.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
you lock and we're out of here.
Motivated.
Just like DauT, Kappa.
All right, here come the civs.
So I ruined my earbud. Oh, here it is.
All right. Waiting for the guest captain to get ready. You're my guest. You're in my house now.
Do you see which name I have?
Look at me, DauT.
DauT was really struggling yesterday. He
Yeah.
always had
Ah.
to laugh. He always had to laugh when he was looking at me. Then he
Yeah.
was really staring at the screen. I need to focus when I'm doing the SIF draft. And then I had that name.
Chinese.
That was good.
I need to rewatch.
Yeah,
I need to rewatch that draft.
definitely.
Aztecs? Azteker?
Let's take
Warum?
Aztecs.
Warum nicht Byzantinen?
Lions.
Byzantine.
Look, this is pretty much expected.
Well, is it
Aztecs,
expected?
Lions.
Is the fact that they're going so standard expected, or is it unexpected?
Well, look, for the rest of the tournament as expected. For this game, unexpected,
yeah,
I guess,
there
that
we
we're
go.
seeing it. But look at this. I see Viper smiling. What's going on? Yeah! Hey! Game on!
There we go. Jordan.
All right,
Jordan-
will Jordan ante up or will he call? That's the question.
Oh man.
Is Saracens next?
Oh man. This is gonna be great.
Oh, I see that smile.
Give me Koreans. Give me Koreans. Oh,
And Indians?
Indians.
All right,
An actual good civ.
here comes the ante.
It's getting intense, bro.
Bruh.
It's getting quite intense. Dude, don't check my Excel.
Problem is, you know it as well.
What is the counter to Kimmer? The question everyone's asking.
Slabs.
Slabs. Come
Bowring.
on. Portuguese again. Give us another Orjan gun.
Orion gun. Japanese. Great analysis. I just say the name of the civ. It's all you need to do. You say it in a funny voice.
Would have been great to see Georgian take that Portuguese, actually. Take it straight away from Viper.
Oh yeah. Honestly, they're not bad on RF.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's starting castle? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they're like better civs most of the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Hans is
Yeah.
Hans.
Hans?
Come on, man.
Hans,
Hans
is
is
wisdom.
Hans.
Hans
I
is
want
Hans,
Hans.
man.
How can you do that to me?
I thought I was your friend.
Spanish. The tension is so
Tick,
tense.
tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. Freddy.
Friday?
Franks.
Of course, man.
Frankly, I'm not surprised.
You're you're
It hurts
looking
my
scary, man.
soul.
I know you're not a
Only.
pun guy,
Yeah.
and I'm going to abuse that fact.
Last two.
Do 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 do.
Oh,
do, do,
time
do,
is
do.
over.
I'm just playing around here. Enjoying my time here.
Yeah, it's your last series, so makes sense.
Yes, I need to enjoy.
Malians, Celts.
That one wasn't
Good
even
sibs.
good because it's true.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that's a fun day. Rocket beans. You have plenty to look forward to, don't worry. And you're gonna cast a lot.
Thank you.
You're still a part of the tournament, dude. Man, I'm very short on time right now. What the fuck, man?
There we go.
Man, what? Portuguese.
Dude, you're
Was
such
that
an ass.
intentional?
Okay,
Such an
I
ass,
want
man.
to
Was
see the
that
Khmer
intentional?
No,
Portuguese
I
ban.
it was just there.
Just say no, Viper.
Took
No.
it
No
lightning or
disrespect
something.
in me.
No.
No, this is not nicht gut. What?
That
Why?
was like so. Like
So ban
Ethiopian.
is ABBA, right? Or BAA.
No, I start
Oh, you
banning.
start again. What? Ban Khmer in Portuguese. You were thinking?
I was thinking about that.
Do it, man. Do it.
That would be so hilarious.
Do it.
I'll have to ban Indians.
Oh.
Man.
Okay. That's your ban? Confirmed?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
See, it's already the X is
Guess I
already
have
on
to
Khmer
ban.
ban. Come on.
Alright, there's one.
Guess I could just get rid of the mezzos, huh? Yeah, let's get rid of Aztecs and Lions. We're not gonna see those civs
Oh.
the whole tournament.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, kind of expected. I will go for
We're not finished, dude.
still one missing, man.
What are you here
Ban, man.
for? Man, overlay guy.
What a pleb.
Did you ban my second civ yet?
No, one
Okay.
sec, guy.
Guy?
Guy,
You
man.
call me guy?
Yes.
Not your friend
I'll
guy.
go for Chinese.
What?
Buddy, friend.
What? That was so unexpected.
Yes.
You know, to be fair, JorDan is a very competitive player, and even if he's out of the tournament, I don't think he's going to do anything less than his best right here and
I
try his
agree.
hardest
We
to
don't
win.
what's it?
This is for personal glory.
Oh yeah, and of course beating
you
the
want my
Viper
microphone?
would be a pretty nice
No, you
No.
can
name
have
to
it.
take.
How much you pay? Reds whenever.
Yep. Oh, I've just accepted that I'm going to hit use Z for Y every time.
Yeah, I would, expect.
Yeah.
It confuses me.
Yep. Actually, guys, Mesoamerican only refers to Aztecs and Mayans. That's why I say Amerindian to use all the Eagle Warrior civs,
Oof.
because Incas are not native to Central America, which
Oof.
Meso meaning Middle Central America.
This knowledge. Ooh, it warms me up. All right, and I guess the question is, does Viper just go for camo straight away and go for that disrespect, or do you think he's going to play it out serious, and if he's pushed to the last game, that's when we'll see it?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, we'll have to see. Hold on, let me just make Viper host.
And hit that spectate.
Indubitably old bean. Alrighty, so I've done that bit. So, okay, so Arabia, game number 1. Obviously, we've seen it as game number 1 for every set, which I think is a good way to...
It's a good opener.
Yeah, I think it lets the players get a good feel for each other. It's the most sort of generic map.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that it isn't a true legitimate like test of skill in like a big long 1v1 set unless there's at least one Arabia game in there.
Well, that's it. We've all just kind of learned this is the standard map we play across, and at the beginning of a tournament, I think generally for beginning and end, it's a good map to have there, because it really shows the player's skill, because it's a map that we see, and we've seen it over like 2 decades now, basically.
Oh, yeah.
There's no excuse not to be able to play your best on it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, for Arabia in particular, I think that Malians for JorDan would be a good, solid all-around pick. And for Viper, maybe Huns. I mean, Viper...
Not feeling that camo?
Nah, not yet. No, I think that Viper loves opening with Huns on Arabia. And Malians versus Huns is, I think, a pretty common, pretty even matchup.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I bank on that one every time. But let's have a look here. It looks like the game has been launched. We're waiting for players to hit it. You can see they're kind of wiggling about in the chairs a bit, getting their game on, getting loosey-goosey to go.
Gotta do those pre-casting stretches, man.
So it's all about the next stretch first, right?
Oh, yeah.
Go on, like, get into it. Don't worry, guys. We'll be back after the game for some more yoga.
Oh, yeah. Nili's Yoga Cup.
Up after the break.
Find out next week on another exciting episode of Dragon Ball NAC. All right.
And here we go, guys. Game on. Game number 1. We have the Viper versus JorDan. Let's see what we've got here. Would you like to introduce the players in the first game?
I will, and here we go. The Viper will be in the blue to the south as the Portuguese, going right at it with the memes. Viper is not letting his memes be dreams. Meanwhile, his opponent in the red to the north of the map will be JorDan 23, going with the more standard expected pick of the Malians.
So, I guess looking at this one, a little bit of it's going to kind of come down to map as to what Viper can really do, because we know his endgame here is going to be organ guns. It's what he kind of wants to get up into. Like, we've seen him play this before, and we know the strategy, but looking at that crater, it's pretty rough all around, actually.
Round right is right, because
yeah.
he's literally surrounded on almost all sides. He just has this little valley, little pass. You know, JorDan's got to head him off at the pass, like a Western movie.
As MBL said, just like on the moon.
It's a big old moon crater thing. But yeah, this is a terrible map for Viper.
Yeah, this hurts. Look at those woods. He's got this one in the back here on the hill, and this little small willy one kind of there just on the side. Not exactly optimal for him. And then his retreat, look how far away that is from the town center. If he gets pushed away, it's going to be an issue. At least he's got kind of a gold in the back there, and both his boar are in the back by the looks of things as well. So he's got that option, whereas he's got the berries, stone. Oh, man, even the stones don't make this easy.
Yeah, the stone is important, obviously, if you want to get that castle for organ guns, and actually he does have one boar.
Oh, there we go. I thought I saw both down the back. All good. What have we got over for JorDan? JorDan, a little bit of a hill towards the front there. But
just a little hill. Just a
little hill.
Tiny little hill.
Just 3 levels of elevation, you know.
1, 2,
2,
3,
3,
4.
4. You're right. I was looking at the boar. Plebcast.
Plebcast. Ooh, the 2 secondary golds.
That's really nice.
That's really nice. Stone kind of off to the side. I think the problem for him is his wood lines are not that great. I mean, look at this. This isn't anything to write home about. And then beyond that, you kind of have to go forward-ish. Gold kind of in an awkward spot. I mean, the map for JorDan isn't great by any means, but it's probably better than Viper's, just because Viper's map is really bad.
Both of them, look, it's definitely not the best for both, but look, at least they're nice and even on that front. Like, it could be a lot worse for Viper, it could be a lot worse for JorDan if someone had a much easier. But there we go.
Oh.
We've got JorDan calling the re. Alright, so I think we kind of agree that JorDan had a little bit of a better map, especially with those golds in the back. But
Did JorDan not... I guess because he ran out of time. He didn't.
Yeah,
He didn't
4
realize how
minutes.
bad Viper's map was too. I think that's honestly a win for Viper because he had, in my opinion, the worst map.
yeah, both horrible, but
I-
Viper even more horrible, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, look at them on the cams. Viper was happy he got that one and didn't have to use
Oh,
his
yeah.
re. Really happy.
That's why you see players wait till the absolute last possible second to go for the restart. Yeah, no, JorDan's map was not good, but Viper's map was even worse. So the fact that JorDan had to use the re there.
Well, that's it. It means now JorDan's basically out of rees for the series, whereas Viper's still got his in the pocket to use if he needs it.
Yeah, there's a reason Viper's smiling.
And now the thing is as well, if Viper does decide to go for the double lane, what's JorDan going to do about it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, neither player picked Incas, as we kind of saw the meme picks from Viper. At least a little bit of meme.
That's it.
A little meme garnish to a more standard meal.
Alright, we're going back into it, guys. This is still game number 1 after the re. Let's have a look at what we've got here. So, we already know the civs that the players have gone for are going to be the same as the first matchup. And towards the south, playing in the blue, we do have the Viper as Portuguese. Towards kind of the northeast, I would say we have JorDan in the red playing as the Malians. My bad.
It's the MAL,
It
man.
is, I know. It nearly tricked me up there.
Yeah.
Got very close. Those
Yeah.
Malians.
Curse those, historical civilizations having similar names translated into English.
How did they manage to get it all so precise? That's the
I-
real question.
I know. But anyway, obviously this is a greener Arabia, and so we can expect the maps are probably going to be a little bit better, though at first glance this is still a very open map for JorDan. Look at both stones forward on an open map. At least he does have the back wood lines and the back gold to work with. It's actually quite wallable over, like, I guess on this side, wall over here, but it's just so open over here.
It is, and look how close the players are here as well, and if either of them does decide to go for any kind of early push, it's just going to hit that much closer. It could be really good for a nice early timing attack.
Yeah, and looking at Viper's map, not the greatest. There is this huge hill that just totally dominates the center of the map. Going to be very important for these players to control. And kind of on the right side as well, we already see Viper luring some deer right here. Viper definitely known to be a bit of a greedier player, but he does have this back wood line, back gold, and actually back secondary gold
Wow,
as
he's
well.
got a lot to work with here, actually. Some easy walls, and he'll kind of secure that back location, which will be extra gold, can secure that wood line. Up to him, I guess, wall off towards the TC, or if he wants to try and get up towards the top of the hill, but he's got options to work with here.
Yeah, certainly. And I think that so much of the stone is forward. I think this is going to favor the player who can go more aggressive. I think on paper that is going to be like Viper, obviously the better player.
Yep.
But I think JorDan Civ Malians is going to be better equipped for going forward. Just such a strong early game with the discounted wood cost on the buildings. Really solid men-at-arms transition into archers play if you want to go for that. And Portuguese, they're not really going to be benefiting from much at this point.
Pretty much bang on. All the advantages we're going to see here are pretty much going to be in JorDan's pocket there until Viper kind of hits the point where the gold's obviously going to come into it a lot more. At the back, obviously the gold line's there, so does have a little bit of an option to kind of fall back if he does need to. Even looking at walling off towards the town center here, so that way, if he does need to, he can fall back towards those back golds, get a little wall off towards the edge of the map here, and then everything's A-okay.
No, this is actually Wall of Kingdoms. This isn't A-okay.
And what have we got from JorDan up towards the top there? JorDan getting his walls down as well. Knows he's got a big front towards the south area he's going to have to deal with. So getting into any kind of position there, it's what he wants. He needs to kind of close this thing up a little bit.
Yeah, nice scouting from JorDan. He sort of knows the places that he should be walling. So it looks like probably, I guess he could do like walling to here and then walling here, but most likely just walling to here and then just working with walling to the TC on each side, which I think it's manageable. Notably, if we check the Viper's POV, he is not going in the right direction.
That's it. The deer lure is going to slow him down a little bit from the start, and then moving out. Obviously, you're going to kind of assume your opponent's generally directly across from you, but with this one here, obviously a little bit tighter, which is going to just be more fun for us than, I guess, the early game.
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, Viper just taking the second boar right now. Actually looks like Viper will be able to find JorDan pretty soon here. And of course JorDan already scouting in the base of Viper. So both players, they know what's going on with each other. Notably the 4 villagers on wood for Viper, whereas we have the 3 villagers on wood for JorDan. Barracks coming down pretty quickly. Does this mean we might be seeing a Drush play, or maybe just a very fast man-at-arm play? But yeah, with the 1 villager going over to gold, are we going to be seeing a Drush from JorDan?
Look, I'd be very surprised considering we've got the 1 villager on gold there. I think it's exactly what we should be seeing here. Viper, on the other hand, is he getting ready for this one? It looks like he's got most of his walls up across the map at the moment, starting to think about that left-hand side. Hasn't walled off against the edge of the map, however. So if this hits early enough, this could be really good for JorDan. And if he discovers those back golds as well, he knows Viper's got a little bit he can kind of fall back to, which, in the end of the day, we don't want him to end up there. We want JorDan to be able to put the pressure on and kind of constrict, strangle out, and at least he knows he can't just rely on getting that 1 gold there at the front if he does want to come forward with the tower and really pressure with the man-at-arms, whereas Viper can just move to the back one there and it's not going to really affect him too much.
Ooh. Oh, no, JorDan!
Oh, greedy, but he missed it. He missed the opportunity.
Oh, that's so sloppy. Like,
oh, no.
Oh, man. Viper with no loom right there. JorDan having his scout full HP.
Delay the walls on top of that as well.
Yeah, especially if JorDan wants to go for the early Drush, which indeed both players actually are going
That would have been a perfect start for him.
That would have really just probably given him a good bit of confidence going into this series. Age of Gates attempt here from Viper actually will not really be successful, only taking...
He might potentially notice it on the way out.
Viper still doesn't have loom.
Doesn't have loom, playing greedy, as we know.
We switch back over to JorDan's POV.
Let's have a look. He should see it. There's no reason he shouldn't here.
Well, I mean, there was no reason last time.
True. Here we go. Come on, JorDan. There's a hill as well, man. There's a hill. All right, I'm just going to assume there's a super duper gentleman's agreement in play at the moment, so they just decided they're not going to go for anything like that. But this is a tournament game.
Yeah. Even the hippo going to be annoying these militia a little bit. Will give a slight HP advantage to Mr. Viper. Not sure what these palisades were about. I guess he was just trying to get something of a wall off, actually milling these deer over here. Maybe he's going to try and go for a Drush FC. I mean, 3 farms already.
Look at that gold, though. That is so exposed. Obviously, he's got the villager count to fight it off if he needs to, but this is just going to be good idle time that Viper's going to be earning with these militia.
Yeah, certainly. And of course, this will force JorDan back home. With the villager advantage in a fight, he'll be winning the fight. However, it will cause a degree of idle time, and we are seeing JorDan click up 2 villagers later than Viper. So to me, this indicates, okay, he is going to prefer going for a Drush FC if he can pull it off.
If he can pull it off. Look, it's a game thing to kind of go for here on Arabia, but look at it. I'm feeling pretty positive here. Viper's doing a good job holding JorDan in his base. We haven't seen too much combat yet, but this is what the militia play is all about, trying to force that idle time, keep them alive as long as possible, and just be annoying.
Yeah, the goal of the Drush most of the time is to be annoying. If you can get some villager kills, like, then you're just set. Then
That's it.
Then you're feeling great.
That's the dream.
Oh, yeah. But beyond that, just annoy, cause some idle time, keep your opponent on their side of the map so you can comfortably get your wall set up in the Dark Age and make sure you can try and get to the Castle Age or flush follow-up, whatever you want. Viper instantly coming in with the men-at-arm upgrade as he did have the faster Feudal Age. He did go up on, I think, 25 villagers, so I think this is going to be for the flush follow-up, and indeed, of course, with men-at-arms, horse collar, double bit axe is likely going to be... Actually, it might not be for the quick archery range, but rather for, okay, I want a little bit of a better economy, not even going to transition into the archers, quickly get some farms seeded, and just, try and maintain that advantage.
Play it out as best as possible, and right now, like you were explaining earlier, Viper with these men-at-arms at the front here, it's keeping Viper... really, I guess he's being able to entertain JorDan here in a way. You can just hold him at the front, make sure he can't push out, make him deal with the man-at-arms, and this is just gaining valuable seconds and minutes for Viper. He can wall up behind this, he can get his own strategy. Like you pointed out much earlier, he can get his eco upgrades behind this because he's not worried about going for a transition straight away, and it's going to work out very well in his favor. Yeah,
like we were just talking about. We have the archery range already coming down here for JorDan, whereas no double bit axe or horse collar for him. So Viper will be working with that slightly more efficient economy. All of the little bit of idle villager time from JorDan running around, having to throw down these quick balls. Though, of course, he will be able to take all of these deer, which is, it's nice for him. Actually, JorDan's scout is wandering across the map, going to be looking for the follow-up. Of course, it will be the flush. Archery range is coming down, but not after several farms have been seeded. So Viper left definitely, I think, in a bit of a better spot.
Playing it greedy, but that's what we know he does, and he's earned it in this one. He knows he's safe to be able to do it. The man-at-arms are doing a great job just keeping the harassment on. Of course, JorDan not being able to transition many more villagers to gold as well, so he's not going to be able to have too much production. Whereas, look at this, if he gets the block on the man-at-arms, villager managed to get through just, but look how far away they are, and he goes for the fight. Maybe not the best decision ever made, and look at this, 0 lag on the system, guys. Militia being brought around, but I think he's going to go for that kill.
Yeah, JorDan's going for the FC, like we were predicting, but one villager down already. And, oh man, why, JorDan, are you not... okay, Archer just coming in right now. But one villager down and one militia.
And the man-at-arms remain.
Exactly. And these guys are almost all full health, too. This is going to be pretty tricky. Oh, you cannot lose that Archer, JorDan.
Oh, no. And then, look... Oh, that was low. You shouldn't be losing anything like that to the man-at-arms, but... Hey, we are seeing two remarkable players here. There's a lot going on. And what's Viper bringing across the map? Is he started transitioning to archers on top of this as well? This is going to make life so hard for JorDan. He's going to be forced to abandon his gold there. Skirmishers on the way out, though, so may potentially be able to push this back. But Viper, more eco, more military production, and even then, he's going to be starting to just dictate the entire pace of the game here.
Yeah, and if JorDan is forced to almost entirely make skirmishers, which it does appear to be the case, that's going to make the faster castle age much less useful, as elite skirmishers are not the most threatening unit when compared to crossbowmen, of course.
Look at that micro from Viper, just cleaning everything up, and that's how you deal with the militia with an archer.
Yeah.
And I think that's JorDan completely off gold. He's got one pretty much towards the east of his base, but that's really all he's kind of got south and east.
Yeah.
That's all he's really got to work with here, but all outside those safe walls, very far away from the town center, and just doesn't have the resources really to make anything happen here. I'm a little bit worried.
Oh no, he doesn't even have enough gold for elite skirmisher.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a bit of a nuisance for him.
Could go down with the defensive town center, which it looks like he's trying to. The skirmishers should be able to push these archers away without too much of a nuisance, but Bod can arrow get and drop down, and there we go. So going down with the defensive town center, get his production up in terms of villages, and be able to get at least a little bit more of a grasp on his own base.
Indeed, Viper going to be coming in with the, pull the skirmishers away with this group of archers, wander forward with this group of archers. I think, well, honestly, this area is still super open. It's just a Viper not going to run through the TC. And
here we go.
Yeah, ooh, Viper switching over to stone though.
We know what that means.
Oh,
we know.
We know.
And it looks like, again, Viper is trying to find a place to move into. Palisade gates are up. Skirmishers, look, Viper's going to take the fight here as soon as he's got the numbers he's happy with. He can begin to try and out-micro it, get around those javelins that are being thrown by the skirmishers, and deal with it pretty effectively, but...
He does have Bodkin. JorDan does have Bodkin, whereas Viper's still...
And the armor upgrade by the looks of it, actually.
Yeah, yes, he does have... He just got the armor upgrade. That's, I think, pretty important, because then the archers are only dealing 1 damage at level ground, of course. But Viper will click up fairly soon, and, of course, building actually a scout in the feudal age. Oh, is this going to be for the sandwich? Is it going to be a JorDan sandwich right now?
We've been seeing a lot of that play recently. It's been giving players nothing to get out of. They're just committing all their units. They think they can push in, run away, get the attack, but this way it's just been mopping everything up, just faster after faster.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. But, JorDan, yes, he's 7 villagers behind, but Viper just now clicking up to the castle age at the incredibly late 20-minute mark. That's actually honestly pretty good.
That's really good considering.
Actually losing the scout right there, a little bit sloppy from Viper. But beyond that, JorDan, he's okay. He's gotten several kills. He's staved off essentially most of the feudal aggression at this point. These archers are not going to be able to get a ton of damage done, and I think that JorDan should be able to switch into a bit more of an economic play with the 2 TCs working on villager production versus the 0 TCs making villagers due to the castle age. I think JorDan isn't actually in a bad position.
Then again, looking at the village accounts, like 36 compared to 40, a little bit behind, but like you were saying, Viper does need to hit castle age still, so it has been very neck and neck throughout this entire series, but look, let's see what these archers can get up to. Viper moving around, trying to find somewhere to get some harassment on. Could potentially wrap around the other side of the gold there. The town center in a pretty defendable location, but as soon as these guys have crossbow, bodkin on them, they can outrange. The tower's not going to help so much for defense.
Yeah, and the scout will, give his life to, realize that the archers are indeed right there. JorDan's coming forward, though, missing even more archers, but Viper, he's pretty safe at home. I don't foresee these units doing a ton of damage. Meanwhile, Archer's running in, but they're running right into the town center of
this
JorDan.
is sloppy.
This is really sloppy from Viper, honestly. Can be losing a couple of Archers for free right there. Meanwhile, on the other side, of course, these guys not really getting a ton of damage done. But of course, Viper losing, I think, 3 Archers or something in that ballpark for free. Just now going to be hitting the Castle Age. Still actually has a slight villager lead by the looks of things. But it's going to be essentially even at this point. And actually, if I check back Viper's resources, 396 stone. That is not really enough stone for anything useful. Actually, even getting a market right now. Is he just going to...
Does he want to buy the castle?
Yeah, that's my thought as well. I mean,
That's, again, just so greedy.
that's like greedy borderline disrespect. Ooh. Of course, one dude's units were on patrol, the others were not. Now it's just going to be a matter of who has the better micro. Now that both have crossbow and bodkin, same exact upgrades. Viper has more units, though.
But Jordan's looking strong here. He's got the micromanagement to work with this one. Viper does take the hill, however, so he will push Jordan back. Obviously, Jordan on top of the hill take a little bit less damage, deal a little bit more, but the numbers, as OrnLu pointed out, Viper's going to be on top of this one very quickly. Jordan, of course, can have the faster reinforce at his base, though, and will be able to turn the tide on this one very quickly.
Indeed, that is the case. Yeah, just nice little bit of micro from both players. However, with these knights coming out, I do like this from Viper.
Oh, the knights, yeah, pretty much what I was expecting.
Yeah, certainly. And actually will be for the TC. Makes me a little bit confused on the whole market thing. Maybe he just need to shift his eco around a little bit.
Get a little bit of gold so he could kind of move in with the knights. I did notice he wasn't having a little bit of trouble there, so it could have been exactly why we saw that.
Yeah, of course he did have to change his gold location to his other back gold, but it's all good. Jordan's actually getting his 3rd TC up. Will be taking a slight economic advantage. Both players, honestly, with pretty good micro right here. Kill-death ratio almost exactly even, just 1 more for Jordan. This is really nice to see.
Man, this is exactly the quality of games we've been seeing throughout the entire event, the entire series. And look, both players, they've been doing exactly what they can here. And look at this dance.
Oh yeah, this is quite a pretty dance right there. Looks like the skirmishers are running back home. Going to be trying to intercept the crossbowmen. Actually, they're going to be intercepting the intercepting crossbowmen. Oh man. So of course Viper is going to be on the run right now.
A good dodge.
Yeah, that. Oh man.
Again.
Reasons that these players are better than me. Oh, yeah. So, okay, now, but Viper taking the hill right here, going to be in a nice position. We're going to see Jordan back up right now. And I think he's okay with this. He is on the 3 TCs. He should be understanding that his villager count should be better than his opponents. Viper, meanwhile, the 3rd town center, literally 1 tile
right
away.
next to it. Look, make it work.
Ooh,
and
4th town center.
The mega boom from Viper.
We thought it would just be for organ guns, but no, Viper just wants to go crazy on the economy.
Now, where did those knights go from Viper is my other question. He's had them kicking around for a while now. Looks like he cleaned up a lot of the skirmishes, but these guys, look at that. They've got no armor upgrades, so they can't hang around under the town centers too long, but still enough to do some damage and at least annoy Jordan a little bit.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the knights without any armor upgrades are honestly, like, horrible against crossbowmen, especially now that we have the quick researching ballistics coming in from Jordan. Look at that guy zoom towards completion. I mean, honestly, with a nice quick wall on that villager right there, Viper has to run away with these knights. But he able to flank around. There is that hole in the wall of Jordan, honestly, that Viper might have punched through that. But here we go. Skirmishers have arrived, but
here's the head off.
Ooh, but with ballistics already done here from Jordan, that tech overlay is lying to you. This should be an easy cleanup here for our red player.
That's it. Viper can't even fight this. If he decides to run, he's going to lose his units anyway. Take out as many on the way, but look, he's just going to be in a lot of trouble here now.
Yeah, definitely. Siege Workshop coming up as well, actually, for both players. And now I think is the time for Jordan to make something happen. His opponent is on 4 TCs, very greedy opening. Of course, taking stone because even if he was not ever going to make organ guns this game, he would really want to castle on this hill. And yeah, I think that this is a potential opportunity for Jordan to make something happen. I would like to see him complete the walls on his base, though.
7 military compared to 17. Jordan definitely has the map control now. Those knights, just without the upgrades, they can't compete with the crossbows. Even the skirmishes, it makes things a little bit more difficult now. However, Viper is throwing up his first castle back towards his base. Looks like he wanted to secure his stone pile there, but not on the top of the hill, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that is an interesting move. I think Viper was probably a little worried about Jordan walking across the map with his army, but Jordan was a little bit slower in doing so. He could have squeezed out the castle out on top of here, but it shouldn't be a big deal.
And there we go, Siege Workshop on the top as well. JorDan, going to avoid that one because we know what can happen if there's just a tricky Mangonel sitting there, gets one hit and it pretty much vaporizes your entire army. Whereas it looks like the Knights trying to move in, but look, again, JorDan's just on point here, garrisoning the TCs whenever he gets a chance, making sure he's not falling behind in any way. Currently though, Viper 81 villagers compared to 73 of JorDan. Army count though still in favor of JorDan, but like you've been saying for the last couple minutes, he needs to make something happen here.
Indeed he does, and Viper with a couple cute little groups of units at the other side of the map. Oh, this is actually just out of range. And JorDan does realize this.
Wow.
Knights without any armor upgrades, not going to be doing a whole lot, but JorDan's coming back home with his army right now. I think this is a big mistake, and now Viper switching into the Orion
He's on
guns.
the siege push. Here
Oh,
comes
yeah.
the siege push.
2 Mangonels already to deal with the ranged units. 1 for JorDan, but it's going to have to be very careful. Of course, organ guns going to be potentially doing, well, not that well, honestly, in very small numbers. But, let's see what the Mangonels accomplish. Nice Mangonel hit there for Viper, but no villager means that...
Oh, that's a big hit. Maybe JorDan committed a little bit too much to that one, and there's
Wait.
that could have been worse.
That could have been worse, but now with the splash damage coming in, of course, inherently 4 Pierce Armor and Organ Guns, that makes them the equivalent of Knights with +2 defense.
Oof.
Oh man, that wasn't really the best trade in the world for JorDan. Now the military counts have evened up, but with Viper having that nice villager lead.
Man, JorDan, though, at least he's got the Mangonels out. He knows he can begin to try and counter the organ guns with them. We're not going to run into a situation where they kind of just run free again. But look at this. He's around raiding the eco as well. Viper's just basically waiting on numbers at the moment. It's pretty much a snowball effect with them. And JorDan, you need to do something here. How can you push this back?
He's going to need to do something. Oh man, is this an offensive castle from Viper? Is it? Is it OrnLu? There we go.
Oh, it is.
Oh, and like we were saying in the very beginning of the game, both stones forward here from JorDan. If this castle goes up, it's going to be a terrible position for our red player. And
No towers, no castle access. He's going to have nothing defensively. JorDan, though, going up to Imperial Age, has he overinvested?
I really think he has. I was actually about to say, I'm not really sold on going for the extra archery ranges right here. I think a switch into cavalry would have been much better against the organ guns and mangonels and such, and is also a better long-term game plan for Malians, as they are critically missing that bracer upgrade. So, okay, yeah, JorDan's going to hit Imp, and he can get Arbalest, but they're still missing that range, meaning that the archery units of JorDan are, importantly, never going to outrange the organ guns.
This is just becoming more and more dire. The castle is up now. Viper can start taking stone on the front. JorDan's own stone, and he can just begin to start the castle push. His upgrade's basically going to be pretty much useless at this point, because like you were saying, without the bracer tech, it makes things very hard. JorDan going to be competing against double castle now from Viper, so his production has just been doubled.
Indeed he has. 1 is 2 times 2. But, ooh, Mangonel not getting anything done right there for JorDan. And now Viper, as I was pointing out a second ago, not even going to be that much slower to the Imperial Age. And of course, we'll be working with around 25 more villagers and even a larger army right now. JorDan's going to be in a position where he's going to be in the Imperial Age, but isn't going to have a lot to do with it.
And with that said, Viper's right behind him, hot on his heels, and man, we have seen the military count actually start to come in favor of Viper. But here we go, JorDan. What's the plan? You're moving villages out across the map. What do you want to do with them?
Probably just take this gold.
Probably just take the gold. He needs a gold. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, of course he is taking his gold on the right side, but this one is in a pretty precarious position. Organ guns, little pushing their way over to the left side, as this is a fairly exposed woodline monastery now here. I think this might have just been to click the Imperial Age, but more and more archery ranges. I'm not sold on this.
Ooh. I don't think I'm sold on any of this. Arbalest coming in from JorDan. We did see him drop a second siege workshop as well, so it looks like he does want to play that defensive, but these organ guns, look at this in the wood line.
Oof. Yeah.
Oof is right.
That is about as eloquent as I can get when I see a bunch of organ guns in JorDan's wood line. Oh boy. There's one monk here, but obviously no redemption, probably just to go grab this relic. Still missing that Arbalest deck, and oh no, these guys are still quite clumped up. But actually, I mean, picking off a few stray organ guns, these units are incredibly weak in low numbers. They are not like conquistadors in that. You do want them massed up. And oh boy. Actually,
Run with the relic!
Run! Run for your life! Oh, no, never mind. Rip. But a few of the organ gun numbers have been picked away at, but I really think the problem is, 1, the map control, and 2, the economy advantage for Viper. He's going to make his way to the Imperial Age. Yes, Arbalest is done. Chemistry is done as well. but the numbers aren't really, I think, where they need to be.
I think the thing being here that Viper can afford to lose this. Like all his units here, he can lose these and continue fighting on in this game. Whereas JorDan, if he begins to start losing his army here, he doesn't have a lot to work with.
Yeah, exactly. And despite having a lot of production, it's
Second castle?
yeah,
Or
second
third?
castle. Yeah, second forward castle.
Second forward castle.
Instantly getting the elite organ gun upgrade as well, which is pretty expensive.
Oof.
I think it's like 1,200, 500 or something like that. Food and gold. So yeah, very cheap, very not cheap upgrade upon hitting the Imperial Age. Of course, he's going to want to grab Siege Engineers and Arquebus as well.
Look, the Mangonels are mounting a good defense here, and he's trying to keep the numbers down. That's how he needs to deal with this one. If he can keep the numbers down, he has a chance in this one. But as soon as they reach that critical mass, which, look, Viper's getting closer and closer to every minute here with the extra castles is dropping down, that's just going to turn into issue after issue.
Yeah, and this castle blocks both of the secondary golds. This castle blocks both of the stones, meaning that this is the only gold income for JorDan right now. And as soon as Viper finds that, it's going to be... Actually, Viper has no idea. If Viper ever finds it, it's going to be good for him. Actually, Viper getting another one. A fourth castle here overlooking this neutral gold and this neutral stone. So he is...
And another castle behind that as well.
Another one. We did see him actually get stone shaft mining, so plenty of stone to make. He can actually afford another one, taking his opponent's stone as well.
JorDan, what can you do here? Everything is just pushing on you from every side. You're running out of resources. You've got those couple of villages over towards the west mining gold, but that's it. Bombard cannons, though, could potentially mount a defense with them. Just needs to be very careful with his micromanagement.
Indeed he does, but already, Turk, we have Siege Engineers in for Viper.
Oh.
That means that now we have the organ guns outranging the arbalests. That is not what you want to be seeing, and indeed, GG coming in here from Mr. JorDan.
Look at that villager count, though. 143 compared to 84. Viper got so greedy with his macro, but at the same time, he knew exactly what he was doing. He mounted all the correct attacks. He didn't let JorDan come over, so it was a greedy play, but he knew he could get away with it.
Yeah, I really think Viper just read JorDan like a book there. Was able to go for the very greedy play. Oh, I didn't know there was an achievements thing.
Yeah, we've got this, man.
Oh,
Look at that.
wow.
Achievements up on the board there,
Wow.
guys. 101 kills to 75. Buildings raised 7 by Viper. Obviously, JorDan not really even be able to crack out of his base here, so not really an option for him, sadly. Economy, gold stars across the board for Viper.
Look at that stone differential. 4K to 287.
That's what an entire game will do if you're off stone compared to your opponent.
Indeed it was. However, I do have to say for JorDan, this wasn't a total one-sided, JorDan had no hopes of ever winning this game sort of thing. I think that, especially in the early to mid-game, he was in an okay position. I think he just needed to make a few different decisions, and I think I was talking with TaToH, with JorDan, how if JorDan just makes a few different decisions, he can be okay.
Well, that's it. And he definitely had the upper hand there a couple of times. Went for the greedy fast castle play. Just couldn't do anything with it because of the way Viper moved out. If he could have pushed that one, he would have been in a great spot and potentially really could have flipped the switch on Viper there and gone for the exact differential.
Indeed, he could.
All right, players just booting up the second match now, guys. Isn't that an exciting one? JorDan versus Viper, game number 2. We're 1-0 Viper's way. And I guess the question is, what are the rest of the civilizations we're going to see here? We're on Seize the Hump. We know Japanese are great civ for it. Celts picked quite regularly as well. What are you thinking?
Japanese versus Celts.
Japanese. I ruined it. All right, so usually Japanese versus Kema. What would you say, though?
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Okay, so... Well, guard.
Don't worry, we'll stick with the accurate prediction.
Yeah. No, I think you're just too in the groove, man. You gotta just drop that knowledge. But yeah, we should ideally be seeing Celts versus Turks here, and it's gonna come down to the not Turks.
I've pulled you down with me.
Oh my God. This is what happens when you share a room with Turk for half a week. But it's all good. I assume they'll be starting the game momentarily, and we will probably be seeing Japanese versus Celts. There we go. There we go.
All right, I'm looking forward to this one. Obviously, a super aggressive game incoming here, guys. It's very rare we see this basically go beyond kind of early to mid Castle Age. I think we actually did see a Castle Age game. I think it was yesterday. I can't remember who it was in the series. Was it... Oh, man. Who was it? It was TaToH and MBL.
Yes.
Yes, TaToH versus MBL. This actually got into late Castle Age, I would say, and it was just a hell of a game. So it is possible, guys. Both players just have to go super aggressive from the start.
And we shall see if that's the case over here.
All right, launching into the game, let's have a look at what we've got. Towards the western side of the map, we do have TheViper in the blue playing as Celts, and OrnLu, who do we have on the eastern front?
The eastern front is right, BBQTurkman, because we have JorDan23 in the red as the Slavs. There we go. You made the history joke for me. I appreciate it.
Don't worry, I've been doing my research all night. I know you appreciate it. There's a reason I've been under the covers with the light on.
Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. Keeping me up all night. No, it's we have, I think, Slavs. They're fine on like any sort of land map, really.
Absolutely.
Not really a huge early game. Really, you're going to start to see that big eco advantage once the farms come in, which really isn't going to be until like late-ish feudal age. And then, of course, from there, it's just going to get better and better and better for Slavs. Meanwhile, Celts, they're going to be much stronger earlier on.
Absolutely. Some good blocking, some well plays with the militia. You can take out units very, very quickly, especially on a map like this where both players immediately have to start, well, seizing the hump is probably the way to look at it here. And if they do decide to go with that, then it's basically just hectic from the start.
Oh, yeah. I think the last series we cast together, Liereyy versus MBL, it was just like a huge villager fight mess, game over in 30 seconds. But yeah, it was quite a map here. And I think that it's going to be, who can seize the hump first, and is the person who starts to fall behind able to fall back and get some other resources? Taking a look at the maps here, gold a little bit farther away here for JorDan. Stone, though, he has access to, and this gold is pretty nice because it's so far away from Viper, so as long as he scouts it, he should be able to take that.
Absolutely. And then looking towards Viper, we do have kind of the same option here, actually. This is a very even map for Seize the Hump. Does have the one pretty much directly towards the north of his town center on the hill with the stone. Then if he goes a little bit more on kind of the west side of things of Cross, he also runs into the extra gold and extra stone there as well. And there's the deer lure. Again, Viper just looking to get ahead. Doesn't want to go for the scouting too early.
Yeah.
And there's the ball for JorDan.
Yeah, if we look at Viper's POV, he is just chilling around his base. Meanwhile, JorDan, he is not doing that. He is all the way on the other side of the map. We'll actually see the furthest gold from Viper, so that's going to be a nice potential opportunity for him to go ahead and raid that later in the game. But notably, Viper actually lumber camping at home, and so did JorDan. So sometimes
this has been, yeah, a really diverse style we've seen across a couple of players. Some people will make a break immediately for the hump and seize it, as is the map name, whereas others will basically sit behind like this, and usually we see kind of two different strategies going at it at the same time. I'm not willing to say yet one's been more effective than the other, because we've seen some amazing kind of plays. I think it was it MBL versus Liereyy where we saw a ridiculous tower play within like the first kind of 10 minutes of the game. Both players went out, but no one really kind of came ahead from it too much.
Yeah, certainly. We now have the barracks coming in for Viper, and that is a fast barracks. It's going to be done at around 5 minutes, 45 seconds, which usually you start throwing down your barracks for a rush at like 6 to 6:30. So like this is about as fast a barracks as you can possibly get. It's barracks before mill.
And that does also at the same time explain the deer pushes and why they were so important. Getting that extra food count into the TC, making sure he has the, I guess, food count to make it possible, it makes it a little bit harder for him. JorDan, have we seen... He knows the barracks is there, though, so obviously going to be saving up for that one. And it looks like he should be just about ready to throw it down.
Indeed, he should. One militia already on the field here for Viper, obviously going to be delaying his feudal age by quite a lot. Some people really favor the Drush on this map. Some people favor the men-at-arms. It's kind of like a triangle where I think actually DauT was actually correctly saying yesterday. It's where like the Drush is good against the men-at-arms play, the scouts are good against the Drush, and then the other one is the other part of the triangle that I don't remember.
That's it. We've kind of got some paper, scissors, rock going on here.
It's rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah.
Different part of the world, it switches it around. Alright, so we've got Mill on top of Viper there, looking like he wants to kind of get into any kind of extra food count he can. And JorDan going up to feudal age, which we kind of expected, and the whole reason here, Viper getting those militia out that little bit earlier.
We already see a little bit of walling coming down actually from JorDan. This is a map that is not remotely easy to wall.
I need delays.
Was that just accidental?
I really thought it was on purpose there. But, puts up the gate.
I don't think he's going to be trapping this scout.
I don't think so either.
But I think what he's going to try and do is like wall here and then wall to his TC, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now, just so that the militia get a minimal amount of damage done, which we actually have not seen walk across the map yet. And Viper's actually clicking up on 8 minutes exactly. So Viper is actually going for like the bait here because he only made the 1 militia before clicking up.
Ooh. This is very tricky, actually. And look, if there's anyone that's known for playing mind games, it's going to be Viper. Look, he'll explore the entire map to make sure that you think he has a better score lead than he does. He'll bait these militia into here, and I don't think JorDan's fallen for it too heavily, though, actually.
No, I mean, we're seeing the slight play where, okay, he's going to be walling a little bit towards his TC, but that's not, an overcommittal, I'd say, by any stretch of the imagination. But JorDan with a much faster uptime. He went up on 20 pop. Now going to be going for the scout play. Pretty standard stuff with Slavs, and the scouts are going to be out in time to deal with any sort of men-at-arms, unless you take some free damage there. Not what you want to be doing.
Look, it's going to hurt. It's still not the end of what we're going to see here, but of course, every hit counts, and when you have this lower units on field, basically the micromanagement comes down a lot more into what you can actually achieve. So let's see who's basically got the better play here.
Yep, we already see that Viper with 3 economic buildings over on the hump will be seizing that first. Seized. Yeah, but now it's going to be all down to the micro, of course, and with the much faster units, JorDan can kind of pick the engagement he wants. Yes, Celt Militia are faster, actually with the 4th Militia here, now getting them at an arms upgrade.
Ooh.
So it will be a little while before JorDan can take a good engagement against those, but because of this walling to the TC, I don't think that Viper is going to get a ton of damage done, unless there's an overchop.
Which, look, there's always that possibility, and this is kind of falling into the groove we saw from the first game, really, where Viper moved out, he got his upgrades, and just kept JorDan just cocooned up in his base, so he couldn't move out at all. Viper could play a little bit greedier, and like you said earlier, he's seized the hump, he's got his 3 eco buildings up there already. That's just about trying to hold on to that one. JorDan, at the moment, moving out for a counterattack, definitely the best choice he can go for here. Needs to find a way to hit him, and as long as those men-at-arms can't accomplish too much, JorDan might find himself at an early lead, but no, he comes back.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to clean up this army if possible, but that's going to be pretty tricky with the 4 men-at-arms, Scout, and Spearman here. I just want to point out a cute little play from JorDan. Whenever there was a tree that was getting low in wood, he just would stop gathering from it, but, I think it might have, gone back right there because he does not want the overchop. He doesn't want the swordsman to run it through. Now JorDan just kind of dancing around right now. He hasn't really been keeping up with his scout production. You can see he doesn't have the food for it. Maybe a little bit of a slip-up in JorDan's macro. I mean,
he gets it.
Oh, yeah, that was close.
Good play from JorDan. He notices the hole, plugs it immediately. And it looks like JorDan has actually moved onto the hump now as well. Has he just thrown down a lumber camp? Yes, so he could be ready to abandon his one at home if need be.
Indeed, that is the case. However, no mill on the forage bushes yet. Viper's had that sort of consistent food income for quite some time now with, I think 6 villagers on these forage bushes. Now has a ton of farms home up as well. JorDan, similar idea, and yes, they're Slav farms, but it probably has meant that the holes that creates in your food income means that he hasn't been able to go for as many scouts as he wants. Just now throwing down the archery range, and nice pick off there.
Yep, good engagement, really good engagement, being able to find that one nice and quickly.
Yep. Scouts are going to be running away for the time being, though, chased away from these villagers as there are plenty of spearmen there to defend. And now it actually looks like there has been a total abandonment of this lumber camp, as there is the mass migration here to the hump for Mr. JorDan.
You've got to go find those resources and make it count, but Viper at home looks like he has basically got his setup pretty much the way he wants it, remaining untouched the entire game, thanks to his push-out being so effective early on, such strong units so quickly. Wheelbarrow forging coming down as well. Man, Viper is after blood.
But not bloodlines, because Celts
Not
don't
bloodlines.
have that. But yeah, getting the attack upgrade, of course, will help all of his infantry just mow down villagers that much more effectively. And skirmishers coming out for JorDan, they're not going to be that fantastic against the infantry units. Now just a mill coming down, but actually the military count's pretty even. It's going to come down to, can the scouts find some kills without taking so much damage from the infantry.
And the thing to watch out for, of course, that spear. If JorDan can pick it off successfully with the skirmishes, he will be in a good spot, and a good wall there from JorDan as well. Tries to deny it. The spear has been dealt with, but look at the villagers. The villagers getting taken down so quickly by the man-at-arms. That +1 making such a difference here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, just ask anybody who's, done a men-at-arms rush against Burmese. That just allows these guys to just hack through villagers. And then on top of that, you have the fact that Celt men-at-arms, just move that much faster than villagers.
They can catch those villagers.
I mean, they can catch everything except scouts at this point. And yeah, that is not going to be the greatest position. Viper effectively 3 villagers ahead because he does have wheelbarrow, whereas JorDan does not. Going to be in a nice spot, though, to be fair, the entirety of Viper's army has been cleaned up, might provide JorDan a little bit of an opportunity for a counterattack.
Oh, come on, Jordan. You need to move out. You need to make something happen here. Again, you've definitely got the count, but look at the amount of spears there. Luckily, German Jordan, has switched into the skirmishes, so he will be able to try and deal with these guys. But again, it's going to come down to the micromanagement that he can basically accomplish with this.
Yeah, certainly, and that's a lot of infantry for
He's,
Viper.
yeah, really committing to the man-at-arms play here.
Yeah, I mean, and with the +1/+1 too, I mean, these guys are some tanky infantry, especially for this stage in the game. This has to be a very sort of conscious decision from Viper. Double barracks play, not a single archery range to be seen. Now even going over to the stone, interestingly. Don't see a tower just yet, but we'll have to see if that might be, if, you know, Jordan is in a good position to attack.
Here we go, mounting another attack on the wood line. Hopefully Jordan will be able to hold this. Mostly skirmishes, a single archer has finally made its way into the pack as well. And there's the defensive tower. Definitely a good call from Jordan to get that one up nice and early. But look at these villagers over on the edge. There's nothing there to defend them.
Not whatsoever. These villagers also taking this deer. Gonna be not in the world's greatest position. Oh, villagers trying to come in for the quick build. This one is still open though.
No.
And the swordsmen and spearmen find their way through.
The +1/+1 on these guys is going to do such... This is a massacre.
This is horrible. Oh, do not let your children watch this, because this is just horrible for Jordan. With the faster moving Celt infantry, like we've been saying, able to just chase down these villagers no problem, not even having wheelbarrow for that little bit of faster movement.
This is the GG.
Cornered.
Yep.
They're cornered.
Look at the smirk on Viper's face and Jordan's laugh. Those beautiful teeth making their appearance again.
Oh man, GG, well played from Viper, and honestly, Jordan was just very ill prepared to deal with the heavy infantry play from Viper.
That's it. The tower was great in retrospect. Like, he had it in the right position to basically save the gold, but man, those villagers there, they just had nowhere to go. They got caught up on top of the mill, and those units just went to town on them.
Yeah, Viper totally untouched the entire game. Jordan never really able to get a ton of scouts out in the early feudal age to really pressure the very exposed villagers Viper had on the hump quite early, as they had like max like one spearman there to defend themselves. And yeah, Viper just really just hammering down Jordan with infantry. Quite an interesting play. But I can take a look at the achievements real quick with apparently a scene for it.
That's it. We can get them up nice and big on the screen so everyone at home can read them too.
Look at that. So professional. But yeah, look at Viper. Way more resources collected. Definitely making his economy on that map much more efficient, as you kind of can't just do your normal same sort of opening stuff. So we'll have to go ahead and X out some civs as Turk is doing some writing question stuff.
Come on, guys. We've got to be professional about these interviews. We've got to do it right.
This is only the most professional of streams.
So what we do here, so we saw Slavs and Celts get played, and that gives us, of course, the Spanish, the Huns, and the Khmer left for Viper. We do have the Japanese, Franks, and the Ethiopians left for Jordan. Map we're on is actually Jordan's pick here, Graveyards, so let's see how he can play it out and if he's got anything special, but I think pretty much what we've seen on this map is what we're going to see today. Just a bit of walling, ready to go, so good on that front.
Indeed, that should be the case.
Civ picks before we get in there. What do you reckon? Are we going to see the camera appear just in case from Viper? Is he going to go full troll?
Yeah, I mean, he's up 2-0 right now. The score is not updated yet. Felix! But yeah, I think that if we're going to see Khmer, how confident is Viper right now? Those were two pretty dominating games.
That's it. We're going to see Viper's mental state here very, very quickly. And I guess, what are we expecting from Jordan? I guess Frank's always a good pick there. What are you expecting? Japanese?
No, Japanese are for rehydration.
Yeah, really good point actually there.
Ethiopians are going to be the pick for Jordan. People do seem to prefer them on this map, as you are often able to go for the Drush Fast Castle play.
You're extremely correct.
I am all the way correct, as always. Come on, I've told you before, the first rule of Age of Empires, I'm always right. Because you start with that +100 upon advancing to the next age, it really facilitates a nice, smooth, fast castle, and with the faster firing archers, you can really make some damage happen there.
Well, let's see where this goes into. Players have launched the game. We're just waiting on them to come in now, and hopefully it should be any second.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
The cameras aren't optimistic in that regard.
All right. Yeah, it looks like we're seeing a little bit of trash there at the moment, so we'll see what they decide to do with this.
Yep, we'll hopefully get into this pretty soon. But yeah, I think for the rest of the series, we can also look at the civilizations in that context. RF, maybe, I mean, it's almost certainly Spanish for Viper.
Absolutely.
And Actually, JorDan doesn't have a great RF Civ.
Not at all.
So maybe he's actually not going to use... I mean, I think Ethiopians are objectively the best pick here, but Franks are not good against Spanish, especially not on RF.
That's it. Kind of the reason I'm expecting to see Franks here on Graveyards, but it depends. Are we playing for the long game here, or are we playing for the short game? That's the question.
Yeah, is JorDan like, I need a win now, or
Exactly.
is he still playing the long series sort of thing? And of course, Japanese for rehydration, almost a certainty, as well as Huns.
Of course. And we're just waiting on this one to launch. It looks like we are seeing a little bit of trash between the players here. I know those smirks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We've been seeing those all week.
All right. It looks like they're gearing up now. Headphones
man.
are on. We're game on, guys.
Well, soon.
Soon to be.
Soon.
I have no doubt they've clicked in. And look at that concentration.
There we go.
Here we go.
Calling it.
The laugh's still happening. Two good friends. 2-0 in this best of 5. Currently the Viper's way. We are on Graveyards towards the west of the map, or southwest, I should say. Viper playing in at the blue as the Khmer. He's confident.
Oh, man. Look at that Khmer overlay. You rarely get to see it with the little Buddha face right there. So good. Of course, in the blue, like at the western map, like you were saying, and what the heck is this map for JorDan 23 in the red as the Ethiopians
That
called
is nice.
Look at this.
He's got walls before he even began.
Oh, man. Not even MBL can compete with this level of early walling. Oh, man. So, you wall over here, and you wall over here, and you're good.
That's it. And it's like 5 tiles in total.
Yeah, man.
And then for Viper, what have we got looking on the other side? A big southern front for him to have to contend with, but still does have that nice kind of circular build around. And I guess the question is, how many Scorpions are we going to see from Viper?
A lot.
A lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think in a vacuum, Viper's map is fine. It's not amazing. The gold forward is a little unhappy, but it's okay. He's okay. And you can just like wall here in the south without too much trouble. It's just more a fact that JorDan's map is insane.
That's just, man, that's amazing to look at. He's got the back gold. In fact, he's got 2 back golds there. He's got the back stone as well. He's just got so much to work with here. So much.
Yeah.
I guess the only downside would be, look, a lot of these wood lines aren't super thick, so archers on the other side could obviously start to push him off there, pretty much wherever. But that's pretty much the only downside I'm seeing here.
Yeah, certainly. I think that with Khmer, what are we going to be seeing from them? Because we have never seen them in this tournament yet. And they're a civilization that a lot of people don't like me, because you can't go for a normal game plan with Khmer. Their archers miss thumb ring, their cavalry line is okay, you have up to cavalier, but you even miss hussar. The elephants can be so powerful, such a strong population efficient unit, especially in team games, but not so much in a 1v1 where they can get converted, and your infantry is pretty mediocre.
That's it. You don't have a lot of options with it, but the double firing Scorpions, hopefully we see that. Like, that's pretty much the only option I'm running into here.
That would be pretty crazy if we get to that point in the game. Of course, the other thing to consider is, of course, that Khmer team bonus Scorpions +1 range. That actually is really nice with Khmer, because in the Castle Age you can use Scorpions really comfortably against crossbowmen because you actually outrange them by 1. So you can sort of poke away at them as opposed to vice versa.
And of course, as soon as you get that mass as well, that's when they become really, really deadly.
Oh yeah, certainly. As Scorpions and mass they're like organ guns in mass. They just kind of shred through almost everything.
That's it. Get anything in a tight area and it's game over. And what have we got? JorDan luring in his board there as well. Relics, as everyone knows for this game, a lot of relics on Graveyard. I think we generally see about 11 off the top of my head.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
There we go. That map knowledge.
So good.
We know what's up.
Oh, yeah.
But from JorDan, I guess the question is, what are you expecting from JorDan? You've kind of said that kind of crossbow play up into a little bit of a boom behind that as well, especially on a map like this. It is something we've seen people close off very, very quickly, especially when you're on a map this tight for JorDan, and then just try and get ahead in terms of the villages and go for the boom. But as we know, Viper, a very, very boomy player if he can get away with it, and will go for it every time he has the opportunity. Do you think JorDan has what it takes to outboom him?
No.
No? No.
I try to be as boring as possible, but I honestly think that what JorDan can do really well is some good aggression in the Castle Age. If we can actually see JorDan put the pressure on that he's been needing to do, I actually think that he can really take it to Viper. We saw in game number 1 that in the mid-game, JorDan's micro is totally on par with Viper's.
Oh, absolutely. We saw how those crossbow fights were going. And if you can move out, kind of get some kind of push here, because Viper definitely has the worst map. Look at the gold being forward there. In fact, even all the golds to his west, just look at them. They're just atrocious to kind of work with here. So if he can move forward, kind of put the squeeze on him and hold it in while he booms up behind it, it's a very good looking map for him.
Interestingly, we have the 2 farms already for the Viper. Currently 22 population, now grabbing Loom, so it looks like he'll be just going up on a standard 22 population. It's what I call standard. It's probably the median pop you go up on. But yeah, of course, you don't need to build a barracks as Khmer, especially if you don't suspect your opponent going for scouts where you wouldn't need the spearmen to defend yourself. So you can just get those farms working nice and early, and likely will be the scout play from Viper. Probably going to be predicting the Drush play from JorDan.
Which is probably one of the more interesting things about Khmer as well, and a lot of players have admitted this. Ooh, we're going to potentially see the scout lost here, and it looks like he will get out of there just in time. Some good micromanagement going to save him yet again. But the Khmer as a Civ, we've seen them basically, they take a lot of losses. They're kind of looked down upon. But the big thing being, a lot of players have said they just haven't figured out how to play them properly yet, which is because they've got some amazing bonuses and some really interesting potential play styles, but until they're figured out and people really have their head around them, and there's kind of some solid builds out there, it just makes it so hard to work with. But there we go, JorDan does nab the scout.
Yep, nice little bit of funneling of the scout towards the town center. Plenty of farms already for Mr. JorDan. A very sort of late drush, actually. I mean, these militia are going to start to come out on the map once Viper's already starting to hit the feudal age. So I'm not really sure why, because I feel like if Viper indeed is going for that scout play, which I see no reason why he is not, I don't really think that the militia will be able to do too much damage before the scouts are able to kill them, though, to be fair, Viper did lose a scout.
Alright, what else are we seeing here? So JorDan transitioning onto gold. Haven't seen that. In fact, it looks like we may be seeing that right now from Viper, but we'll see what he does decide to do. Nope, going down for the stable, of course, utilizing that Khmer bonus, no barracks, so it doesn't require it down. Let's have a look around. Obviously, going to pretty much push from there, and I'm not sure really how this game's going to develop. JorDan's already walled off, and it's so easy and so quick for him. I don't think Viper's really going to be able to accomplish much.
Yeah, and what on earth is JorDan doing? He's only made the one militia, as far as I can tell. Okay, so JorDan's clicking up on 28 villagers.
Using them Viper strats, fake drush.
Yeah, I guess it is a fake drush.
But what's he going to scout it with?
Yeah. Oh man, that's actually really funny. But honestly, JorDan should probably make another lumber camp. This is pretty inefficient right here. But with plenty of farms and going to be getting the plus 100, shouldn't have a problem in getting to the castle age in good time. And I think Viper, upon realizing just how safe his opponent is, shouldn't honestly be that far behind in the castle age. Actually, he's made one scout.
I think he's made one scout just to take some map control, make sure JorDan can't kind of push out too much, and get a little bit more scouting information, because how much did he have there before that scout actually went down?
Well, wrong button.
So he's seen a little bit of JorDan, doesn't know about the side here. Now he knows he's pretty much completely walled off. JorDan actually doing a good job as well there with his wall of securing that extra relic.
Yep, gonna be just a nice little pickup for then. And as someone actually pointed out in chat, if Viper wanted to go full fantasy play, he could go for a castle and go for ballista elephants and cut through the really thin forest.
Whoa! Then we've got the upgrade, so we've got the double firing ballista elephants.
Oh yeah.
Which will just be a treat for all of us, so let's hope we see that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would certainly enjoy seeing that. Okay, so it will be archery range and likely blacksmith for Mr. JorDan, and indeed that is the case. Pretty much from even before the game, we pretty much predicted this sort of play from our red player. I think really the question is, what is Viper going to be doing with this such unorthodox Civ pick? You can see his resources are already looking pretty nice as far as clicking up to the castle age goes. Remember, he does not need a second building, so he can keep us in the dark as long as he wants, man.
That's it. In fact, he didn't even really need the stable when we think about it. JorDan's going for this defensive play. But look, that might even be a little bit greedy for the Viper as well. Not having any military buildings, going for a fast castle, and then kind of not knowing what your opponent's doing because you've lost your scout. That's potentially a little bit too greedy.
Potentially, especially in a tournament game where you do need to win this series. But JorDan clicking up 14-15, pretty solid castle time from him, considering that he did at least make the one militia. And then Viper won't be actually too far behind, maybe 30 to 45 seconds slower.
Alrighty, and then the question is, does he switch over to stones straight away? Or are we just going to see 2 forward siege workshops and him absolutely go for it? Because that'd just be... I would love to see him go ham over fist with the Scorpions. But at the same time, look, Viper's general kind of MO is he goes down for the extra town centers, we'll go for the boom, get a lot of resource up, then push it when it's his game.
Yeah, also, I just want to point out this really cute little play from Viper. Look, 5 villagers, 1 house.
It's beautiful.
5 villagers, I mean several houses. 5 villagers, 1 house, literally adjacent to the drop-off point.
Come on, this is going to be the new meta.
No,
this is where it's at.
So many people forget about the post. Look, 5 villagers right here all can jump into the house. Everyone else can jump into the TC.
So for those that don't know, probably the big thing, because I don't know exactly where people are with the camera and how up-to-date they are, houses can garrison basically 5 villages. So essentially, you can save them from everything, provided they're not going to take the house down.
Indeed, that is the case. And you can't garrison any other units, just houses. But... you know, it's still, I think, a nice little defensive bonus can save you some villagers.
Well, that's it. If they just jump in there straight away as soon as like a scout or something comes in, you've saved yourself a bunch of villages for near no cost.
Mm-hmm. Also, JorDan doing what I was doing as a kid, where you know, build your houses in a perfect box formation for maximum efficiency. You know, you want to have nice little suburban communities.
The party houses of the Chimera, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Garrisoning as many villages as you want. No, 5. That was a joke.
Only 5.
That was a joke.
Family of 5.
No more.
Mom, dad, and 3 kids.
All right, what have we got here? JorDan moving out across the map. He's got some archers in play. And like we were saying, some kind of push here from JorDan, or not even really a push, just enough to be irritating. Potentially snipe a couple of villages would be good from him. Crossbows, Bodkin arrow on the way, but Viper already down with scale barding armor. And Bloodline's coming in behind this as well. Scout will get dealt with just.
Nice little bit of micro there.
And there's that garrison we were talking about.
Yeah,
How
but
pretty is that?
he
Oh,
sent-
that's some pathing and a half, though.
Yeah, he sent more than 5 villagers, so there's... it's like 3 villagers, and then they lock the door on the other, like, 4 that are outside. First villager kill already coming in for Mr.
First come, first serve. And look at that. There's the garrison from all of them. Battle Elephant. Oh, boy.
Oh boy, it's a battle elephant time. That's what the scale barding armor was for. Viper going for the full fantasy plays right now. Of course, Chimera do have that 15% faster moving battle elephants. It's like they get husbandry from the get-go, and then of course they can research husbandry on top of that. And that will mean they can easily chase down these crossbowmen, no problem. But because this sort of gives the game away for Viper, JorDan should be adding a monastery very shortly. And
There it is. He's got the answer. And like you were saying before, with the speed you get on these elephants, it's basically just a bulky knight play.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big night play, and those pachyderms, man. We already have the hippos ravaging the map. Now we have the elephants as well.
All right, what have we got? And it looks like he got through the gate there. Of course, look, with some good micro, the crossbows should be able to deal with this, but JorDan's taking his time to kind of micro this one as he wants, and losing a couple because of it, but the elephants do go down over time, of course. They are very squishy.
Yeah, that was cute. A little bit of micro right there. From Mr. JorDan23, of course, Ethiopians with the faster firing crossbowmen, 12 military to 2 right now. But pretty much for the entirety of this game, we always have to keep in our heads that the military of Viper is super population efficient, and now we have the double siege workshop scorpions.
Here we go, the scorpions, the elephants. The question is, what other units did you want to see? And I believe you wanted to see the ballista elephant. At this rate, we might honestly get there, but elephants backed by double scorpions from bloody... Oh man, this is ridiculous.
Double crossbow.
Oh man, double crossbow gonna really make these guys so much more effective. But we've got a long way to go.
Oh yeah, certainly. But you know, both players, they're just booming their little hearts out right now. I think both are on the 3 town centers. Actually, no, Viper's only on 2 because he went for the double siege workshop. Ooh, oh look at this, 5 scorpions right here. What do the crossbows do against that, man?
That's so quick to get that many units out. How is JorDan actually gonna push against this? I'm actually at a loss in terms of how he's going to be able to deal with this. Obviously, the Mangonel can make a big difference here. He needs to get that siege workshop down. And I guess there's a siege workshop that we'll talk about. JorDan actually with all the correct responses here. Do you think the elephant might have just been a little bit of a bait?
I mean, the mass scorpions it's certainly interesting, right? I mean, it's really hard to support an elephant-based army when you're going for any amount of economy. And Viper is still going for the 2 TCs. JorDan, of course, on the 3 TCs, which is why we see him with a nice little bit of a villager lead right now. But you know, the thing is, Ethiopians, do they really have the best answers to scorpions until like potentially they get into the late game with their amazing siege? Because Ethiopians, no redemption on their monks. No good knights, so yikes.
This is potentially a really good play from Viper, actually, like a really good read of the map in terms of what was going to go on, and potentially could put him in a good place, actually. Viper I don't know how Jordan's going to find a way to deal with Vipers with the Scorpions. Man, it's just not a word I'm used to saying.
I mean, they are crossbows in a way, right? They're just big crossbows.
That's it. Big crossbows. Just scale it up and call it a day. One mangonel in there, but look at this. Viper's even spreading them out. He knows how this works.
That's so cute. And of course, Scorpions, they do not like amazingly against mangonels, as the mangonels of course kill them in one shot, but I mean they do damage to mangonels. They do more than one damage, so this many Scorpions will actually kill the mangonel pretty quickly.
Plus the +1 range going to make it a little bit easier to work with as well, and Viper even moving in with the ram already. Looks like this is going to be just a pure siege push.
Oh man, why have other units when you have siege units? And yeah, crossbows aren't going to do anything here. 7 pierce armor on these guys.
It's huge.
Oh yeah, definitely. Notably though, honestly, why is Viper not further behind in economy?
Alright, here are the mangonels. Let's see if he can get some good hits. That's going to be the big question behind this. And there's one for free.
Indeed, that is the case. Even repairing the siege workshop right now.
There is another one, and look at that. They do damage.
Yeah, no, like I was saying, Scorpions actually deal like okay damage to mangonels. There's 3 of them right now, and the villager is importantly there to repair. This is obviously a very tricky microdance. Oh, big mangonel hit.
There we go.
Only taking down one, but doing a lot of damage to the others. And if only JorDan had some sort of meat to this army, some sort of follow-up, maybe like a few knights that could run in and clean up all these Scorpions.
It'd be nice, but look at that. Again, the pass-through damage just hitting the villager there a little bit as well, making things a little bit more of an issue. Getting the repairs on the mangonels as well. Can't afford to let them go, but villager's been taken down. JorDan knows what's happening, throws down the secondary siege workshop behind it, even brings an extra villager for the repairs. Looks like he's just trying to buy some time here.
Oh, I mean, he needs to, otherwise the Scorpions
There's
are
the
just gonna
villager as well.
welling away at everything, and the villager count is honestly dead even, which I find kind of surprising because JorDan's been with 1 extra TC for like a while now.
For a long while.
Yeah.
There's extra Scorpions slowly rolling into battle, but man, the battering ram was taken out, so the buildings will stay up a little bit longer, but Viper getting closer and closer to that map. Just, man, I don't even
11
know.
siege units and
That's
1
it.
monk.
11 siege units, 1 monk, gonna try and take the relics, so this way you can build Scorpions forever. Absolute forever.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this map has plenty of gold between the relics and just all the random bits of gold running around, because gold apparently runs, according to me. But now we even have JorDan taking some relics. Actually 2, soon to be 3 relics for JorDan. Viper probably grabbing his 2nd right now. So both players do have that presence of mind and are playing that, playing to the strengths of the map right there. And more mangonels coming in for JorDan. But like I was saying, he needs some...
There's a good clump there of Scorpions. How did he only get 1?
Uphill.
Oh man, that uphill makes such a difference, and that's what we're seeing here. He's through the barrier. If he wants to get into JorDan's base now, he does have the option, and that mangonel is pretty much all that he's got to work with him. And the militia,
The one
doing
militia.
his best.
Look at that. He did stuff. He did stuff, man.
He's working hard. Siege Workshop coming up on the other side as well.
Yeah, random palisade gate for some reason. Obviously, just siege units are so slow, you need to have them in good position already if you want to defend with them. And JorDan 23 is building a castle, according to the overlay.
Look, he needs that. Look, it's going to pretty much fight off all of these Scorpions. They're not going to be able to really push in on top of it from there. But Viper's already got the 2 siege workshops. If he wants, he can really just kind of push with battering rams and just try and hold out as long as possible.
Viper now grabbing husbandry. He's going to make the switch back into elephants, I assume, at some point.
Oh, this could be an absolute DauT castle the way this is sitting.
Oh,
the Scorpions,
boy.
the pass-through damage. He's trying to attack it, but man, look at it go. Takes out the monk, and I am not feeling confident about this castle all of a sudden.
It's at 52% right now. More and more villagers are coming. This is obviously pretty intense for the players. The Scorpions honestly firing at like these villagers, which weren't the ones building, but of course the villagers are going to run away when they take damage, and that means that the pass-through damage is actually going to be doing totally work right here. And 89%, 90. I think this castle will go up.
It'll go up. It's just a matter of at what cost at this stage. And there's the garrison. 83 to 70 villagers now. The Scorpions make their slow retreat. But the Viper on his way up into Imperial now, and it looks like we could be potentially seeing those double-firing Scorpions.
Double crossbow hype, hopefully. That would be pretty epic indeed. Still with the double siege workshop right now. More stables coming in, maybe going to be making that ballista elephant switch, or battle elephant switch rather. JorDan clicking up as well, though, to be fair. Not really investing into much army at all in the Castle Age. And I wonder, do you think he might try and go show tells?
Look, they're quick, but
they're
such
so weak.
low, like... I don't know what their survivability is going to be like.
I mean, it's not good, obviously.
That's it.
I think it's a tricky question because obviously it's like they're glass cannons. They do so much damage but are so fragile.
And against the Scorpions as well. The thing is, if they can get on top of them, they'll be absolutely great at just completely turning the tables. But the question remains, can they get on top of them?
Indeed, that is the case. Fourth TC now coming in at the north of the map for JorDan. All the stone here, the good old Scorpion flank counterattack. We see it every single series. I'm honestly kind of bored of it at this point. But yeah, will this actually be found out here for Viper?
Ooh. No.
Aww. Just not quite. And yes, indeed, it will be the Battle Elephant switch. Already has +2 defense. Already has Husbandry, Bloodlines.
Look at it go.
Come
on, move it again, Viper. We need to see that speed. Everyone needs to witness this and just see exactly how ridiculous this is. Scorpions, though, on the east there, moving their way out, trying to, again, just knock JorDan off any kind of resources. And has he seen it? He's seen it.
Oh, well, with the chopped trees.
Yeah, that'll give it away.
Yeah, definitely. Relic count is actually 4 for both, so they're doing nice in that regard.
Look at that elephant go. Get into the fight.
Oh, man. Zoom goes the elephant. I mean, at this point, they're faster than most infantry. At least without squires.
Then we've got the monks backing this up as well. JorDan nearly an Imperial Age here, but will we see the all-important upgrades in the push that we're wanting here from Viper, or will JorDan be pushed into submission too quickly?
Yeah, certainly. It's going to be tricky. Of course, Ethiopians, if they can get to like torsion engines, like their siege is going to just annihilate everything because Ethiopians have some of the best siege in the entire game, but you need to get there.
That's the issue we've been having this entire game. JorDan, you just need to survive.
Yeah, it's going to be really tricky. Another castle coming in. To be fair, Viper does not have a castle of his own. JorDan already working on his second right now. JorDan even grabbing the Onager upgrade. He knows what he needs to do. Honestly, last game, he really, I think, slipped.
Ooh, again, on top of the castle. That's just some good pass-through damage again as well.
Oh,
look at it. It
man.
adds up so quickly.
Yeah, it's just so good. JorDan's having to lose so many villagers to get these castles up. Nice splits, though, honestly. And like I was saying before the pass-through damage thing happened, JorDan, I think, is responding much better this game to Viper's shenanigans than last game.
Will the castle go up? 97. Pulls the villagers. Needs to make this happen. And there we go. The castle goes up. The Scorps, of course, will be forfeit, but that's a lot of villagers again. Viper on 104 compared to the 76 of JorDan. Every chance he gets, he's just pulling that gap wider and wider.
One elite battle elephant and one villager annihilating the siege workshop. Typical stuff.
Heavy Scorpion plate barding on the way as well. Onager Tech, though, has finished up for JorDan, so he does have a good chance against these Scorpions now. Is on equal ranging. 7+1 compared to the 8, of course.
Indeed, that is the case. With Siege Engineers, that will be a range advantage for the Onagers. Going to be super important. But look at these Scorpions, man!
This could be one good Onager shot, though. One really good Onager shot.
Put it back on the Viper's POV. Oh!
That's a lot of resource down the drain, but sadly, I don't think it's going to be enough here.
Not quite. JorDan needs to keep on booming right now. He still needs way more villagers, especially since he lost a fair amount in getting these castles up. I do like that both players, again, are grabbing the relics 4-5 now in favor of JorDan. And Ethiopians and Khmer are both civilizations that really prefer to have gold because they can do a lot with it. So I think we could have the potential for a really epic long game right now.
Good convert there from JorDan as well. Like we were saying, he does know what he needs to work with this. He's got the Onagers out, he's got the monks, he's potentially got all the advantage he needs here, but the villager count's still what makes it a little bit trickier. But he's, again, holding in there. He's slowly managing to catch back up, 116 to 92.
Yep, so again, just a few more villagers needed. Siege Engineers now on the way for Viper. He does not care, man. Halb now on the way for JorDan, so Siege plus Halb. It's a classic comp, but...
say goodbye to your Trebuchet.
Say goodbye to the Trebuchet, indeed. Castle now established here for Mr. Viper. Probably... she's actually going...
Tusk Swords, going for the extra damage on top of those battle elephants.
Yep.
Gonna make them just beefy.
Yeah, 16 plus, what is that, 7 fully upgraded?
Indeed.
That is, that's a lot of damage. And, well, Viper's going to be chilling a little bit because he's prioritizing the unique techs over getting trebuchets out. I think, honestly, objectively, trebuchets would be better, but Viper wants to go for the fantasy plays, obviously. But, yeah, it is buying, I think, a little bit of time for JorDan to potentially get some Halbs up and running, which are going to be super critical as they will chew through these elephants.
Alright, let's have a look there. JorDan's trying to spread out, grab some extra resources there. You can see it in the north. The town center has been up for a while. Obviously trying to utilize the defensive castles as well. Viper, extra siege workshop going down, so it does look like he is getting ready to mount a push here.
Yeah, certainly. I think that, you know, both players are sort of just getting set up. Another castle. Oh, no. Every time,
Every time, JorDan.
Oh, God. Okay, at least quick walls will potentially save JorDan right here. Double crossbow, too.
It's on the way.
Oh,
We
man.
get to see it, and look at this. Here comes the brutality.
Those are some DauT quick walls if I've ever seen them.
Oh, absolutely. Look at them in their non-existent state, and pulls the villagers straight away, to be expected, and... Oh, there's a sneaky villager coming in from the side.
Yeah, he's
Sneaky villager.
He's got a lot of
He's got a lot of work to do by himself, but it's possible.
You better be getting paid overtime for that that work job. But yeah, Arbalest now on the way here for JorDan. I'm not 100% sold on the Arbalest.
Come on, fire the Scorps. Show everyone the true power.
Fire! Military advantage for the Viper, and like you were saying, his army is so much more population efficient than the army of JorDan. The Onagers are not going to be particularly fantastic against the elephants that are now so fast. Look at them close that distance onto the Onagers so quickly.
And the Scorpions, of course, can be so good at dealing with the Helds or even the Arbs when they get close enough to be able to deal with them. Like, look at that damage, taking them down so quickly. Extra archeries, barracks getting thrown up behind this for JorDan as well. He knows what needs to happen, and look at that. That villager is still going for it. He may get it there. And in fact, he's going to! Great success.
Hero villager right there, but unfortunately, JorDan's down by 40 villagers.
Look at those Arbalests. They just disappear so quickly.
But look at the elephants. Wait, why is the... Was I clicked on the wrong elephant?
No, you were on the right one. They're just bulk.
Oh.
They are just pure bulk. All the upgrades on top of them.
Yep, full upgrades on
320 HP.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Several elephants, several scorpions. I mean, this is like the death comp right now. There is almost nothing you can do with any civ to deal with that once Khmer get to that point. I mean, Viper's just expanded to all corners of the map. Still has plenty of gold left with which to work. Random converted elephant, I think, getting a...
That elephant raiding, that's what will get you.
Oh, yeah.
Again, back to the fights, trying to get the converts with the monks, but apart from that, trebuchets are out in play from Viper. I don't know if JorDan's going to be able to hold this.
Yeah, it's going to be really tricky. Siege Engineers was already gotten for the Scorpions, but of course will incidentally benefit the Trebuchets in helping take down the castle.
We do have the Bombard Cannon, though, so potentially can out-micro the Scorpions, can try and take out those Trebuchets if he wants to.
It's going to be pretty tricky, though, because with that many Scorpions, and with only the, 3 range advantage, it's not like you have that much of a range advantage.
And in go the elephants.
Yeah, there aren't anywhere near enough Halbs right now. The fact that you have the military disadvantage right now with JorDan, when your army is Arbs and Halb versus Scorpions and Battle Elephants, that, I think, says a whole lot.
Man, the Onagers just cannot connect. Like, look at that. 7+2 range on those Scorpions. It's amazing.
With double crossbow.
With double crossbow. Look at it. It
is
just...
my...
Whoa!
Okay, we're going over to JorDan's POV. We are going to select all these military units.
Just look at how quickly that damage happens. And that pass through, my god.
Oh, with chemistry
and
now.
chemistry as well.
Wow,
here we go. Come on, get to the bulk of it. I want to see this just go through the entire army.
Gimme, gimme. Oh, nice bombard cannon hit. Actually killed, I think, 3 Scorpions.
That's nice. The stack is high.
Yeah.
But here we go. Here's... Look at the Halberdiers just can't even get in there.
Man. They even have +4 armor. It's just not enough.
Oh, potentially another good Onager hit here. Gets rid of another 2. He's slowly whittling away at the numbers, but he's losing all his production. He's losing his base here. The Elephant's just proving to be so strong.
Yeah, it's... this is just not something you can come back from. There's too many Scorpions
I can
here.
see JorDan's face there, and he is in disbelief of what's happened here.
Viper
having a laugh as well. But look at that. There's the shake of the hands.
Yeah.
Good friends will always remain good friends.
Oh, man. That was... You know,
I think it's time the Khmer was nerfed, personally.
Oh, yeah.
They need so many nerfs.
So many nerfs. I don't know why they even have heavy Scorpion. Their Scorpions are good enough. Oh, wow. That was a really fun series to cast. Yes, it was fairly one-sided, but at least Viper did win in some style, give us some entertaining games. Of course, always fun casting with my boy Turkman.
Always having a good time here between us.
Oh, yeah.
And here are the achievement, guys. Let's see what we've got. Units killed. Look at that KD for Viper. Absolutely huge. Units lost for JorDan. Look, from the KD, you can kind of make your own assumption there. Everything there apart from stone, which we know JorDan had the castles up so much earlier.
Indeed, that is the case. I mean, JorDan just never had the time. He was just a little bit further behind economically, never really able to get up to, like, torsion engine siege onagers plus halberdiers at 200 pop. Like, that would have dealt with Viper's army cost efficiently, but you just don't have the time to get there.
What can you even do against something like that? And guys, that wraps up our first game of the day, or should I say first match of the day. This series has been going for, what, we're in day 5? Day 5 in the Nili's Apartment Cup. This is just phenomenal. We've seen nothing but great games. We've now seen the Kemmer on top of this as well, so what won't we see is probably the big question at the end of the day. And from the rest of it, this is it. We've seen Viper take it. That is the first game of the day. Viper versus JorDan, 3-0.
Yeah, and we have 3 more best of 5s coming up after this last day of group play. Of course, JorDan now 1,000% out of the tournament. Unfortunately for him, did end up going 0-5. But I think he's been having a lot of fun, and of course, we will be seeing him cast again, especially with Mr. Mem, which I know you guys are all clamoring for.
That's it. We're going back to 11k territory, but look at the smile he's had the entire time he's been here. He's had a great time, and I don't think he's got anything but just overflowing happiness.
Oh yeah, and I mean, why not? This event has been absolutely fantastic. I've been really enjoying it. I'm loving casting it. Honestly, even just watching it, I've been having like even more fun watching it than I thought I would have. Just like just chilling with people on the couch, just chatting about the games, making fun of the casters, you know.
That's how it rolls.
Especially when you're casting.
Oh, that's it. Absolutely, every single time. But it's nice to have so many like-minded people here, so many people yelling about the game, so many memes being created throughout the entire tournament.
Oh yeah, Mr. Gecko.
Mr. Gecko, that's me. Hope everyone's seen it on AOC Zone already, and if you haven't, or AOE Zone, I should say now. If you haven't seen it, too bad for you. It's a meme now.
Oh yeah, don't let your memes be dreams.
That's it.
Viper didn't.
Embrace those memes. Embrace.
Yeah, of course, we will be getting an interview here with Viper and potentially JorDan here in just a minute. We will have our glorious Mr. Turkman doing that.
I'm excited too, because I have so many questions. Again, in the chat, guys, if you want to know...
Yeah,
I know, I have 4 questions, but they're all interesting questions. Leave me alone. Let me know, guys, if there's anything you want to hear in the chat as well, and I'll add it to the list while we're there. Yes, we need to ask what toothpaste JorDan has. I'm going to chat about the organ guns on Arabia. Of course, basically the second time we've seen that. Man-at-Arms sees the hump, the infantry play from Viper, and Graveyard. Like, there's a lot to talk about there. A lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's going to be... It's going to be interesting to say the least. Looks like they're just getting all of their stuff set up. You can see Viper getting the microphone.
I like the fact that we can keep an eye on them from here. It knows how much time we need to fill. But at the same time, guys, thank you so much for hanging out over this entire tournament. It's been an amazing turnout from everyone. We're seeing so many follows as well. It's great to see the Age of Empires community so alive. And look, we never doubted it, but it's nice to be able to prove so easily that it's so unique.
And I really think that just speaks to what a good game it is. There are so few games out there that literally with very few sort of like updates, you could say. Yes, we had like the new expansion civs, but it's really just the core gameplay, the core, you know, everything about Age of Empires that is so enjoyable at so many levels, from like playing against the easy AI or playing custom games to all the way up to NAC2 level tournament players. It's going to be just... It's a great game, and I'm really excited for things to come.
That's it. We've got so many things in the ropes now, so many people getting involved, and the game's never been in a better spot.
Yeah, definitely. Except towers.
Except towers? Except towers.
Nah.
Look, we haven't seen too many in this. There's been like 1 or 2 aggressives to help get through walls, which has helped countering that meta.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much about it. No one's gone for pretty much the full tower rush. There was, of course, a ridiculous amount of towers we saw in the TaToH versus MBL game, which was just a good time in general. Like, you know, Japanese towers goes well.
Yep, and I think we have our players here, so I will let you
Let's
take
jump
it away,
over.
Turk, and go for it, man. Thanks, everyone, for watching the cast.
Thank you. Who wants a hippo? That's the real question. You've got one already. You've got the big hippo. You can have a cuddle. The cuddle friend, the support animal.
Oh my god. All right.
So guys, sorry, there's a little bit of a problem with the camera right now.
All good. We got time. We can hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm muted, so it'll be alright.
I heard you laughing from the living room.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure you're not muted.
Doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Man, overlay guy is on it again.
The blame guy.
Oh yeah.
Did you put the cable in?
Did you try turning it off and on again?
Yeah. Wolf guy, get off. Everyone's gonna turn into a guy.
Turk guy.
Some sort of guy, yeah.
Snick
Yeah,
guy.
everyone's
German guy. That's probably not as
Teeth-
relevant.
Teeth guy.
Teeth guy.
Teeth
There you
guy,
go.
yeah, yeah.
It's
What?
actually on my list
Teeth
of
guy.
questions.
No, the thief guy.
guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
be ready for that. It's on the list of questions. So many people are mentioning it.
The thief guy. I am
6.
3.
I am 6 or
I'm
9.
last.
No, I'm 9. Yeah, I'm 9.
All right, so you can hear us, guys, but we're getting the
2.
camera just set up right now. It's been, look, a great series from all of you. JorDan, you've fought so well throughout the entire tournament. I wouldn't say you lay over and kind of died in any kind of aspect, but look, you gave them what mattered. Everyone was just so happy to see you, and at the same time, the smiles brightened up the entire room. So thank you so much for being here. Viper, though, 3-0. You've got to be feeling confident with that. You've been playing some amazing games thus far, and it's really good to see. JorDan, of course, you've been playing amazingly as well. But the question everyone has been wanting to ask you, JorDan, and we've seen it in the chat time after time again, the teeth. They're
Yes.
so beautiful. How do you achieve it?
I have no idea. Like I don't do anything special here. Seriously, just brush your teeth twice a day, and I guess some genetics help as well. But there's nothing more to add here.
Some
seriously.
real insight there.
Some
Yeah.
real insight.
Yeah.
Look at that. Playing the healthy game, though, guys. Come on. Listen to JorDan. Eat your steamed vegetables.
Yeah, that helps as well, right? If you always eat sugar, that isn't helpful at all.
Oh, man. I remember an interview with you so long ago that I did where I asked you what your favorite food is, and your response to me was, if you could eat any food in the world, it'd be steamed vegetables. And that still makes my day. But Viper, we saw some insanely crazy plays from you. I guess, JorDan, run us through kind of what was going through your head. Like, you saw Viper picked Portuguese. You know organ guns is on the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
How do you even begin to anticipate and predict and set your economy up to be ready for that?
You know, actually, I saw his 2 stones were forward, so I was expecting to be able to put more pressure on them. The issue is, however, I was expecting him to kind of fast castle as well, like I did, but I realized he was a bit quicker with the uptiming, so I was like, okay, and he also upgraded for men-at-arms. So I was like, okay, I really need to hold my composure here and not take too much damage in feudal, and then try to apply pressure, but I was not really able to do it that well. Should have maybe walled the upper part between the forests,
Oh, yep.
because I was really worried that his archers were about to hit there, and then, you know, I would have lost the game there, so I was a bit indecisive here.
And I guess that's probably the question for you as well, Viper, behind that. Obviously, you did want to make that transition at some point without obviously over-investing too much resource. You kind of just held JorDan into position here. I guess any kind of notes for anyone that kind of wants to make, because we know your economy in general, the way you divide up your resources is just so strong. Any advice for anyone at home that's basically trying to get into that kind of vision as well?
I mean, the main thing is that you need to have a safe stone somehow. And the way my stones were placed in that game, I needed to make other type of army before I go for the actual stone. So in that scenario, try to get some map control, try to make sure you have enough army to keep your gold stone safe. And then obviously then slow and steady make that transition.
Look, it definitely worked
Easy game.
effectively. And I think, JorDan, we saw enough laughter from you that you know it went out very, very well too. So Seize the Hump as the second map, probably one of the more aggressive maps we see across the entire tournament. Obviously a huge commitment to infantry from you, picking into Celts and then, of course, going for forging nice and early, getting the extra damage on there. And of course, what we saw, we were watching you from the get-go, went and got that barracks up, put a single militia in it. Were you going for the fake drush and trying to get JorDan ahead in there, or was that just a happy accident?
I wanted to make like 5 or 6 men-at-arms militia in Dark Age and just like keep his villages busy while I try to develop my economy, but he scouted it, so I figured I'd just put one guy in and just take it from there. So it was like I
Happy
changed my
accident.
plan because of him scouting it.
Of the excellent JorDan scouting.
That JorDan
Yeah,
scouting.
exactly.
And at the same time, the Woodline obviously managed to get some good walls in, kept everything relatively safe. Of course, had to make that transition eventually to the hump. Look, it was good. The defensive tower came up. How did it feel seeing nothing but man-at-arms, spears, and everything just going straight for it onto the Woodline?
I was scared. I have to admit, I was like, okay, when he hits me, I will just quick wall and then I'll be safe. But I obviously managed to leave one side open.
Yeah.
That was like, oh no. But yeah, it was a very well-prepared strategy by him, and worked out pretty well. I was trying to get more archers, but I wasn't able to do so.
So in retrospect, do you think if you did, instead of waiting for the quick walls, got any walls up a little bit earlier, do you think that would have helped you out at all? Or do you think it was basically at that point where Viper just knew what he was doing and he had you on the back foot?
I was definitely on the back foot, and I think that the way he played it was better for his economy, right? I was really struggling. You already had 600 food or something, right? Yeah. So he was also even close to Castle Age, where I was a bit slower. Let's phrase it like that. And, yeah, I guess he just outplayed me there.
And then the last game, of course, obviously Kemmer pretty much being the word of the entire matchup we saw between you two. Half of us were expecting the ban on top of Kemmer as well, just to be like, none of that disrespect up in here. But obviously, going for the win, it makes a lot of sense to go for pretty much the 1-2 ban overall. Pretty much the civilizations Viper wanted the most. Yep. I guess you knew something weird was going on. We've seen Viper do a lot of Scorpions before. Again, is there any way to prepare for that? Because you had the good transition. You had the monks out. You had the Onagers behind it as well. So you were managing to clean things up. But anything you think in retrospect you could have done a little bit differently to fortify yourself a little bit more?
I guess letting him into Castle Age without him taking any damage was a bit of a problem for me, because he set himself up very nicely with the economy and then was able to get into those Scorps and elephants. Honestly, I have no idea what exactly I should have done differently there, because I don't have too much experience in that regard. It was kind of the first game against those Scorps, but they are very strong, I have to say. Very, very strong. I will have to come up with a plan next time.
Absolutely. And I guess the question for you off there as well, Viper, do you think the Camo need a buff, or do you think they're okay as they are?
I've been saying for months that they're fine as they are. They're one of the civs that aren't explored enough yet. They have so much potential with transitions and not being limited by buildings to get to the next age or next step or whatever. So Khmer has a lot of potential. Obviously, certain transitions are harder with them, but they have Arbalest now as well. So I think Khmer has a lot of potential.
So it's not
that much of a meme pick anymore as it used to be.
So it's just about making sure people know how they're actually playing with it, getting their head around the play style and adapting their builds rather than relying on good old reliable. Yeah,
they're similar to Malay, and like I think there's a lot of hidden potential there that we haven't really discovered yet. Like I think maybe a couple months from now, Malay might suddenly be one of the top tier picks as people start to learn how to make their economy better.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first, guy, from the man himself. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us here. I'll let you go get a break, because it is still early, of course. So go out, finish the coffee, and have a good day. All right, guys?
Thank you very much.
To see you both. Always nice to speak.
Cheers.
And I'm taking over. Next series will be Mr. TaToH against Fire. Two players that have a lot to play for. Will be casted by me, Mr. Nili, and BBQTurkman, who will take a great risk. Funny series of those two friends here, TheViper and JorDan. And JorDan just said, maybe next time. Apparently he didn't know that the tournament ended for him, yeah? Who will be the casters for later? This series will be Turkman and me. The Nicov against MBL series will be casted by DauT and JorDan. So sorry that like all the players and casters below is wrong now. Obviously JorDan is not a player anymore. He's only a caster from here on. And we will also see him with Memp at one of the playoff stages. And the Nicov against MBL game will be JorDan again, JorDan and DauT as a caster, so that has to be great. And the main event of the evening, DauT against Liereyy, will be casted by, I believe, Memp and OrnLu+. If I'm not... Yeah, pretty sure. And this is the time where I take the question and answer over. TaToH and Fire should be both ready. I will quickly take a look with you into the Nili math and the situation here when it comes to who advances. JorDan already out. TaToH still in the situation where he is top 6 unless he loses 3-0 to Fire and Nicov wins, or he loses to Fire and DauT wins against Liereyy and Nicov wins against MBL. So TaToH in a very good spot. Fire just needs to win, preferably 3-0, just to keep his chances alive. The series after that are on the screen. Nicov, DauT, Liereyy and MBL all through. JorDan out and Fire now with his elimination match. Coming up next, this is the time for my question and answer. Let's take a look. Why is OrnLu not forced into wearing a hippo costume? I'm not really the guy who forces people to do something. We won Casters tournament. Not really going to happen. TheViper number 1 confirmed. Now, after beating JorDan, who is kind of the second best player in the world, beating him kind of makes him number 1, yes. When did you get the hippo plush toys? Well, like, my nickname is kind of hippo in German as well, Nili. And people have been giving me hippo gifts for the last 20 years. Actually, I don't like hippos that much. But people think like, oh, his name is Nili. It will be the greatest gift. No one surely ever came up with the idea to gift him something with a hippo. And that's why I have endless amount of stuff there. Can you ask JorDan about his retirement plans? I can. Let's see. We might get some info one day. Does Fire have any problems with his eyes? I'm not sure. He's kind of tired, right? He played endless amounts here this night. He played till like 4 a.m. against Xiao Feng, the Chinese guy. And just to be sharp, he also is training for ECL coming up as well. The NAC2 players also have to play ECL this week, so let's see how we overlap in that. What animal would you prefer? Chameleon. How long does it take you a day to groom your beard? How long does it take you? Oh, well, I only groom it every 10 days or something. How do you come up with Nili as a nickname in the first place? Down below in the FAQ. How much sleep did you get last night? 4:30 till 7? And at 7 a.m. I had my alarm to upload a new YouTube video after rendering over the night. And then I had my alarm at 11, but the cleaning lady came at 9:30 because she confused days. So 2.5 hours, 10 minutes awake, and 2.5 hours. Something like that. Have you ever seen a hippo in real life? Yes, I've been to Africa. Will you ask JorDan about his retirement? Yes. Is it true that Nicov moved to Italy? I think he planned that, yeah, but I'm not sure if it's actually a finished process. Someone underperformed in NAC2 so far? Let's take a look at the standings to answer that one. Is that brackets? Well, Viper Liereyy MBL. I think Nicov could have maybe thrown 1 or 2 less games. But the rest kind of is performing as expected, I believe. Yeah, I think it's pretty much what we're thinking. Will Zachary Vampires join you this Friday? I think he's actually arriving on Thursday. Let's see. MBL and Mem the best friends now? Ooh, not sure about that. Why you hate hippos? I don't hate hippos. Oh god, losing my headphones here. Would you consider hosting a tournament outside of Germany? Yes. Which of the Fun Day games are you looking forward the most? The Tandem game. Can you please put the schedule in the screen? I thought tomorrow was group stage still. There are like 6 sources to find that, my friend. How come we still haven't seen strategical slaps? Do they need a buff? Well, they are slitting in slapping distance, right? And, well, we can look at the schedule again for all the people confused. So Wednesday, today, will be the end of the group stage. Thursday, we will have 6th and 3rd place trying to battle to fight in the semifinals, which will happen on Saturday. Friday will be our fun day. We will visit Rocket Beans TV, a German TV show. We're expecting big viewer numbers there and a lot of fun and some team games. We'll have plenty of 3v3s, 2v2v2s, and so forth and so on. They will change their whole show from normal German content into English content, and that should be pretty awesome as well. Can Memp and JorDan cast together again? Yes, it's going to happen for one of the bracket stage games. What has been your favorite game of the competition so far? Tricky one. Maybe Land Madness, Liereyy, Nicov. Or Viper Liereyy. The Arabia game was pretty brutal, the Spanish game. What does JorDan do for a living? Think some bank stuff. Not really too sure. Does Liereyy and MBL met Nicov for the first time in NAC? I think everyone met Nicov for the first time, yeah. How soon will DauT eat everyone else because he's hungry? I wouldn't really know why. Do you play in ECL? I'm part of a team. I only played 1 series. Who will cast the final? We'll see. When did you start with competitive AoE2? In 2000. Any chance Liereyy and MBL will cast again? No. Will there be NAC3? Let's focus on NAC2 first. Are DauT and Fire still drunk? No. Can you make the will count overlay background completely black? I think it's darkest we already have it. Can you delay player cam about 10 seconds to match their reaction? What happened? You didn't see the last series. We have new webcams that are delayed. What do you predict for TaToH versus Fire? 3-0 TaToH. Whose casting made you laugh or angry the most? Laugh, mine. Angry, none. How's Mem doing? He isn't as crazy as he used to be, or like not as crazy today, but I think he's doing fine. I think he's enjoying the time here quite a bit. Is it Scrabble in the background? Yes. What do you have done better from previous NAC1 and what have you learned from this NAC2? Just having everything prepared one day ahead isn't enough, but I wanted to stream all the days prior, and I did endless amount of work, but it's just you need to have everything set up and do a test stream 3 days earlier. I think that's the best thing you can do. And then you can fix all the issues and can fix the overlays and think about delay and whatnot. It's just like the first day, obviously we had a shaky start, but even after that, we did so much to always improve, and we just could have started like the level that we have today could have been the level for Saturday if we just started 2 days earlier. Has anyone complained about the food? No one. So JorDan, one person less in the chat. What underdog civs do you want to see being drafted? Example Turks. They are ready. Then send me Turkman. And I think you need to change the overlay as well. Let's take a look. Do I need to change that? You changed the flags but not the names here, right? Okay. Hit F5. Okay. Okay, it's just fine. I will trust you. Is Fire too cold? Yeah, not sure what's going on with him. Yesterday he was sitting here with the shirt. Today it's with the jacket. Are you happy with the DauT and Fire cast yesterday? Not necessarily happy, but like people expect me to be more angry than I was. I actually wasn't angry. Like we had slightly less viewer numbers. I think it was more aimed towards the insiders and like laughing jokes. I think like newcomers to the channel weren't really taken away nicely. But feedback has been incredible from the hardcore community, right? So it was another group we aimed this cast for. And obviously like I talked to them beforehand and I kind of knew that it would go in that direction. What differences are there between a monk and a monk with a relic? The relic. Can you tell JorDan maybe he is not the best player in AoE, but he love him the best, most even? Oh god, what a sentence. Is there somewhere we can see the civ dress for each game? Yes, AoE2cm.com. Have you beaten any of the players this week? Yeah, 2 players with a stick, 1 with a broom. We will see the invited basketball cast some more games. Well, he overperformed so well that we will save him for future tournaments. I think his legacy is too important. What do you teach? Primary school, math and social science. Do we have you unmuted? Oh, hello. And okay, I can give them a go here. Actually, they might be in the draft. Maybe you just unmute. I'm not even sure what numbers they are. I think it's 2 and 5 now, or 2 and 6. 2 and 6. I think it's 2 and 6. Oh, I hear something. What? Yeah. I think
we are ready.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Hello. This is not the current draft.
Okay, perfect.
We'll get it switched over. So give us 1 second. Then we'll
Okay, so you start picking. I pick say the hump.
Are you unmuted? Did you hear yourself?
Yeah, I can't
okay.
hear myself. It's just headphones having trouble, but it's alright.
Okay.
That should be good.
Ah, now I heard you. So see the hump.
It's alright, guys. We're just turning the pack on.
That's a tricky map. Like Fire should know this map pretty well from the qualifiers.
Absolutely.
And Fire is playing one of the second qualifier maps. Sees the hump here. And I think TaToH could go for something crazy like Persons here.
Let's have a look.
Eldorado.
Pretty much the most common ban we've seen thus far.
Ban one
That
more?
and sees the hump.
No, I ban now. I ban Graveyards. And Tide Pool.
Interesting. For me, those are TaToH maps.
And you have to ban one.
Yeah.
And pick one.
Look at how TaToH's taking everything in control. You're doing this, I'm doing this, and let's go. He has a clear plan here.
All going to plan.
He banned.
I ban.
There we go.
Oh, fine.
Then Madness.
Okay.
All right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy do you think Fire is at the moment?
How?
And
Happy.
Ooh, a solid 3 out of 10. He looks so deep in
Great.
concentration, though it might be that.
He kind of needs a 3-0 today.
Look, it's definitely doable. He's a remarkable player, but TaToH's not going to let him just have it.
No.
Could be rehydration.
Rehydration. There to end it off. And we will get the draft. We can say then that's TaToH hosts the draft.
Awesome.
Felix, man, focus.
It's like Fire's 5th match.
We know this.
Is he still asleep?
Everyone should have the system down by now.
Like he was like 12 hours ago. He was still here in training.
Looks like we've got the link, so we can jump in and see exactly what's going to happen now.
Who's running around there?
I think this is the wrong ones. Please wait.
What?
It's not working, I guess. For me, just a second.
Just getting the draft going, guys. Civ picks will be on the way. For those that don't know, 7 Civs are picked, 2 banned by each player.
Oh yeah.
At least for today. Tomorrow we will advance the series from best of 9 to from best of 5 to best of 9s.
Yeah.
It's going to be intense days, and I can't wait. The game level is going to be amazing. So much more
it's too
opportunity
good
to
for
come
you.
back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Viper allowed to be there during the draft? He was getting his watch and left.
Viper, man.
I will allow that.
Handing over a secret spreadsheet.
Yeah. Chinese. Kind of a weird one. Is that only for Arabia? It feels like it, right? Instant Mayans, Aztecs. This should be Indians now, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No surprises. Remember that from tomorrow on, we only have 1 ban. So we kind of have to see either Mayans or Aztecs.
That's it. We get a little bit more variety out of it, no matter what they pick.
Yeah. And way more civilizations. So like from tomorrow on, Khmer and Portuguese might be standard.
I'm just excited to see. This is basically going to get flipped on its head.
Yeah.
This has been the standard kind of fair stage to make sure everyone's going to get through, do their best. Then it gets flipped around. We get to see all these intense matchups.
And so much more like tricky scenarios that they will be picked in, more maps, and yeah, just
We don't make it easy.
yeah. And then it's also like, yeah, what map do you want to ban? What is your home map against the opponent? It will be really tricky. And now 3 Metal Civ from Fire to begin with.
He's going to get Eagle Warriors at some point.
TaToH needs some counter against that. I think something like Celts could be pretty good. Berbers
Absolutely.
could be his civilizations, kind of to counter that mass eagle approach. Although he bans Aztecs Mayans anyway, so it's only 1 mass eagle Civ.
That's it. What have we got? Franks, Slavs, Huns, and Celts all on the board now as well. Very common civs.
I like Huns and Mongols together. That's good for Flooded Cross and Prairie. TaToH isn't really going for a rehydration civ per se yet. Like, it's actually Indians.
Yeah, he's got Indians there, so he's got the option.
I think I could like something like Malians or Malay.
Bang on.
Malians?
Fire getting Japanese there at the end as well. And 1 more left for TaToH, then we've got Fire on the final pick.
That's really on for both of them. And you see TaToH like scanning the civilizations there, looking at his eyes.
He's finding the counters.
He still doesn't know.
He's a smart man.
For sure. Oh, timer going down. If 30-second countdown is done, Berbers. Ah, the Berbers counter against. Oh, but
Awesome. But no Huns, no Mongols for fire, though.
And what do I have left? Spanish could be. No, the maps are too open for Spanish here. Flooded Cross. I actually don't mind Portuguese, but I'm a Portuguese fanboy.
Look, they've proved themselves in the 2 matchups they've been in.
Could we say Magyars?
Spanish.
Nah, I don't like that. Kind of has to be Spanish on rehydration. You just die to it. Oh well, what against? What do you really die against? It's not that bad. You're kind of facing. Interesting. So we are ready for bands. We are ready for your bands.
Alright, the next level of strategic element.
You do.
Shouldn't it be fire. It has to be Indians, right?
Indians.
There we go.
Just like by far the best
Okay,
civilization.
Mayans, Aztecs.
Mayans, Aztecs, no
The 1-2.
surprises there. That will obviously change from tomorrow on. We will see some more of those civilizations. Chinese was pick number 1. Not sure if it has to be the ban here. I think it's not too bad to play Chinese here. Kind of obvious choice for Arabia.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe for Prairie? No, he has Huns and Mongols. That's fine. Will be Chinese, so he doesn't need to ban the first one here. It could be a Slavs ban. The see fire.
Taking that time, look at the concentration.
Mongols.
Ooh.
That's an interesting one. What do you think about Mongols ban?
Mongols. Look, strong Civ, we all know that, but there's nothing... I guess he's got a little bit he can kind of try and abuse that hunt bonus with, but nothing too insane. Like, there's no coast to mountain level hunt, but...
Well, it's still the strongest Civ for Prairie.
True.
But Hans is just following there. You aren't really destroying any plants. Seize the hump. Malian play. Prairie Huns. Flooded Cross. Oh. Dehydration. Like, I don't see TaToH. Maybe change his plans a bit. And now they're preparing their files. Like, this is the map. This is what I want to go for. This is my plan here, and well, they're taking off the microphones. You can mute those two as well.
Which one was we were looking at? 2 and 6?
2 and 6, yes, indeed. And we can only hear ourselves from here on. And I will even try to do all the fancy stuff over here. Welcome back. And so, who do you think has the overall better position here?
Alright, so what have we got from TaToH? We've got Chinese, Huns, Slavs, Malians, Berbers. From Fire, Inca, Franks, Celts, Japanese, Spanish. Look, Fire's got at least one of the mesos, so I guess he's got the option for Eagle Warriors behind that. Franks, as we know, very, very strong Civ as well. But Land Madness is out, where they've pretty much got their strongest play, thanks to the forage bushes. So, I'm kind of leaning towards TaToH, personally. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's pretty rare that someone gets his first pick through, right? That most of the time indicates that you have a good Civ advantage in that one, but also, like, since we have seen so many 1-2 bans, you're kind of only planning with your remaining Civs. I think Incas aren't that crazy. I don't really see Spanish performing too crazy on those maps as well. What can be like Seize the Ham, not really an option. Flooded Cross to open. Prairie, they're, I believe, really bad. Because you need to go for heavy army. So rehydration is the only option. Maybe it's just Chinese against... Is he playing Chinese on rehydration? Not really. No, that would be horrible.
So.
No, that's horrible. Interesting. And you see both of them still very focused, thinking about the upcoming matches. I wonder if we get into the longer series, how much time they will take. Just thinking about that.
Awesome, just giving the players the heads up. We're good to go when they are, and hopefully we get a game launch pretty much straight away, and we can be into the action, and all the deliberating turns into fact.
I'm excited for that. To remember, guys, let's take a look for the last time at the potential stats. We are here at the last day of the group stage. TaToH, he is top 6 unless he loses, DauT wins, and Nicov wins, or he loses 3-0 here and Nicov wins. Fire himself, obviously exactly the other format. So TaToH could be, I believe, 4th, 5th, or 7th, or something like that.
Potentially 7th.
Yeah, and actually we even have a scenario on here that Nicov could actually get 2nd as well if we have 4 super weird matchups, like he's beating MBL, DauT is beating Liereyy, and Fire is winning or something, then Nicov can still get 2nd, but I didn't even list that one.
There's a lot of math going on, a lot of math, and there's a lot of potential options at the moment. But basically, Fire's looking for a victory here.
Yeah, like it's his last chance, right? He was already pretty disappointed yesterday. Kind of like before we went through the stats, he kind of accepted that he's out of the tournament, and chances are looking slim, right?
That's it, but he's also probably one of the people that
We
we've
are ready.
seen doing some of the most practicing. And he's been doing a
do the
great
scoreboard,
job
yeah.
holding on to that.
Okay, so overlay guy is taking a break. I'm not really sure why.
What?
So does he think like 14 hours a day of work is enough?
Oh, man, some people.
Lazy.
All right, let's do this thing. Would you like to introduce the players, or would you like me to?
I would love to listen to your voice for that.
Absolutely. If that's the case, we do have TaToH in the blue, playing as the Slavs towards the north of the map. Over down towards the south in the red, we do have Fire playing as the Incas.
Oh god, and when you say Fire this way, I can feel it burn a bit here.
That's it. We're getting excited. This is only game 1 of the matchup, and we've got potential for all 5 games here, I think.
Yeah, well, for me, TaToH is the heavy favorite, but as we know, Fire, he is having problems. Oh, what are the cameras? Jordy, look at that.
And we have JorDan versus TaToH.
I didn't unmute. Okay, I will switch the cameras here. That's a funny one.
That's actually a great shot of JorDan as well. That actually makes my day. I hope he's out there getting a look at that one. That's JorDan in true JorDan spirit. But both players at the moment, so we're on Arabia, which is essentially the home map here. Basically what everyone's going to have to deal with from the start of the actual positioning itself. Looking out at the maps, we've got Fire. Not looking too bad. He's got some woods to kind of work with here. And it looks like his goal is going to be a little bit forward, but that's probably the worst situation he's going to run into.
Oh man, this is so sick. So
Jordan.
that's game player number right one, and we just deactivate and activate that cam, and then.
But that's the kind of picture you have on your mantle. That's a very nice picture of Jordan.
Oh man, yeah, and his smile, well, it's adding just so much, and I think it should be loading up. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Did we just?
One sec, guys. We'll have everything sorted.
Good that the overlay guy ran away.
The moment he runs away.
Huh. I will give you a view log so at least something is happening in the background.
We can have a look. So TaToH is getting his first bore in, which is kind of to be expected. He's got his main berries towards the south there. He's got his gold over towards the eastern lumber camp as well. So going to make it a little bit easier to defend, but could run into the issue where it gets a little bit too cluttered. So a couple of big decisions for him to make here, really. Looking quite open towards the eastern front there, but where's that villager heading out? Looks like he's going to pull in the second bore, and TaToH, but Fire has actually called the re. Not happy with the map by the looks of things. So basically, all this is for nothing, and you've lost no minutes of content there, guys. We'll have the webcam ready to go, and no one's missed out on anything, but Fire deciding this is probably the one to call the re on. First game in the series always makes it a little bit harder, but as we've said, Fire's had some tough luck throughout the tournament, and I think it's very much in his best interest that he does manage to get into the best position, get into a good mindset from the first game, and really be ready to kind of push this one for a victory.
Yeah, Fire, like, he didn't really look like he took the game too seriously the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Looking at the webcam.
Having a little bit of a relax, I guess, but
No,
Jordan,
I meant like the
I know, I'm
before.
getting in there, relaxing, mantle picture, swapping out with JorDan even. I don't know if that's in the rulebook or not.
Oh man. Okay, so that is fixed now, and I think we need to find a better solution than always switching the cable in between games. Yeah.
Those technical difficulties will get you, but that's the restart called by Fire. Each player only having a single one for this matchup, so don't forget that, guys. Fire has used it. TaToH still does have the option, should he choose to use it.
True. Okay,
Fire
so
taking his top off got censored by JorDan.
Slavs against Incas. So he is indeed saving Chinese for something else. I don't see it for Seize the Hump. Don't really like it too much for Flooded Cross. Is it on Prairie? That's weird for TaToH, but well, we will see what his plan is. Now jumping into game number 1. Try number 2.
Let's have a look and see what we've got going on here this time. We do have TaToH towards the north of the map, or northwest I should say, and on top of that here is the Slavs in the blue, which you already understand from the fact we've had the restart. Towards the south in the red playing as the Incas, we do have Fire, and man, this is a close kind of spawn.
It is a close spawn indeed, and look at that, all the resources here in the center. TaToH has a safe gold at the top, but look at all the resources here. Stone, gold, stone, gold, 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 stone, TC,
this matters so much. Everything is literally within about 2 screens here. Every resource Fire has to work with, and at least, man, does TaToH have the back gold there actually? Has he got a little bit of a small win? He does indeed, and looks like TaToH going for the lame actually, how quickly his scout's moving out.
Yeah, he's trying to find something. Scouts the main gold, and he should be shocked. Like, is that my main gold? No, it just has to be too far away. And he scouted that one as well. Knows that this is his, and he knows this is going to be a wild game, which typically should favor Incas here.
Absolutely, and Fire looks like he's potentially going for the lame as well, but due to the spawn, going to be a little bit late on that one as well. So both players looking to get off to a good start here. Whether TaToH just kind of ventured a little bit further than he was expecting, I don't know if that's the option there, because he is already heading home. But Fire, if he keeps heading this direction, he's going to have a little bit of trouble in the early game.
Oh yeah, well, is it really going to be trouble? He scouted one boar at the front. He's scouting some extra sheep. Where is the other boar for him? It's over here, and it is.
He knows where they're both at. That's not too bad, actually.
Yeah, now let's take a look. Fire, he didn't really see any indicators that TaToH has to be far away from here, right? The cliff, not really telling him too much. Now is scouting a relic. That means
no one nearby.
Cannot be super close here, but is he really in that left-hand side corner? Kind of unlikely as well.
Well, that's it. It's been such a peculiar spawn. The players just being so close here, it makes it a little bit harder to scout out. Obviously, with the extra line of sight on the Eagle Warrior, it makes things a little bit easier, but at the same time, it's basically, does he go down towards the south or does he go down towards the north now? It's basically a 50-50 pick. The relics will give him a little bit of a heads up, but not too much apart from that.
And is he going back? Feels like that could be an option, but no, he just goes to the other side, tries to find some more information there, builds the mill one tile away, still cannot really get the farms around it. What are the strategy choices we are expecting from those two players?
So obviously feudal from there. Everyone was looking like they wanted to go for the lane, but I don't think it's going to happen just because it's getting very, very late now. Both players can be able to pull their boar in quite similarly, so we should be there without any kind of too abrupt play. Obviously, Incas, look, the Eagle Swarm's always nice when we do get up into it. The fact they can get, you know, slingers behind that as well is really nice for them, but in fact, I may have spoken too soon. TaToH hasn't found his boar, and Fire's actually right there looking for it, and snags the 2 sheep as well. We'll go for the steal on them.
Yeah, but that's 2 for 2, right? Just an exchange. Let's take a look. The boar's still out there. TaToH might find it by accident. No, he already saw it. It was out of vision when we checked it, but it's all good for him.
Excellent. Fire, of course, trying to scare off that scout. Wants to get the lame on the villager, but TaToH having none of that. Going to use the sheep around the Eagle as well, because he doesn't want to lose control, and potentially going to try and get the block here, but looks like he might just be in a little bit of a play around here for as long as possible.
And he's taking a lot of HP away from that scout. He's now trying to go for the block. Remember that we already have Loom, scouts, or sheep now in control.
He does have the hill working for the boar, though.
Oh yeah, and that's a nice block here. TaToH in some troubles.
Come on, kill it with the Eagle. That's going to hurt. Not what you want to see at the start of a match. Could potentially put TaToH in a little bit of a worse mood here to really kind of get him into the groove for the set. Not what you want to see on your second boar of the match.
Oh god, and what could TaToH have done differently? He was attacking the Eagle with the scout.
He had Loom.
He had Loom. That was kind of fine for him, but still beautiful block here by Fire. And players have been saying that it completely is different when it comes to blocking and microing with 0 lag.
And that's the reason this has been so effective. We've seen so many good plays across this, and it looks like TaToH might have decided, look, that boar at the moment, let's not worry about it, get our play going, and then think about it later, or may potentially even ditch out on it entirely.
Look at that. He is going for gold at the front. And yeah, it is far away, but don't you feel like a barracks more in the open could have been better? It's not really functioning as a wall now.
Not really. Well, that's the thing. It's given him that inner layer, but how much is it really helping? The militia will be able to push away that Eagle Scout now, and look at that. We'll get the boar lure. At 8 minutes 30, though, looking like by timing.
And TaToH with a nice move here, saw the Eagle, is now going for the boar, as you said. Eagle will try to block, but shouldn't really get anything done. Meanwhile, let's take a look if the militia are getting anything done.
Alright, so militia are moving forward for TaToH. We do have a quick wall in, or I should just say a wall in for fire there. Didn't happen particularly quickly, but he was there. He knew it was coming, so good preparation from him. Does start walling in the lumber camp as well towards the town center, so anything will have to push past there. So Fire playing this one pretty defensively, not looking like he wants to take any chances.
Goes for 4 men-at-arms even. This is going to be interesting. The house here, another palisade here. TaToH shouldn't really do much. He is not up to fuel age, and he's only quote-unquote 2 villages ahead. That's not a lot. Men-at-arms, they aren't even trying to defend this. He is going for the attack, and TaToH, he needs to be walled.
He's already taken the precautions towards his lumber camp, towards the south of his base there, which is good to see. TaToH, though, trying to get the engagement here, but look, those palisade walls, we know how they repair. I don't think he's going to be getting through it anytime soon. Obviously, as long as he remembers to repair, should be good, but Fire already up to feudal, and TaToH, we haven't even seen. In fact, right as I say it, he begins to click up.
Yeah, and 12:28 timing here will not be in time. And look at that. Sneaky Fire already prepared 3 villagers. And this is going to be so tough for TaToH. He needs to move out to the top. Oi, oi, oi. Can he hold this? He surely can't see it.
Oh, well, that's it. He's not going to be able to put up the defensive tower. You've got the little hill there as well, so even more of an advantage. So that's going to work out very well. And then he's walled in, so he's obviously scared of the fact we've got militia walking around. Can be men-at-arms very shortly if he does decide to. And apart from that, he's got his gold towards the back, which is also walled in. I don't think I saw Fire starting to take stone, though, so this looks like it should be his first tower, and I don't think we're going to see another one, so this tower has to do work.
Yeah, but I think it will. Look at that. I think he should have even finished the mill here.
Men-at-arms are in the way, ready to go as well.
Oh, now inside of the tower, needs to block the left-hand side, instantly sees it, but villagers are getting out.
Here's the block.
Uh-oh, that eagle, he's so good at that. We have seen that before.
No.
Beautiful move again.
Fire! You are showing your prowess. All those practice hours have been really helping him out here. The 0 lag. Does he get a second?
Oh boy,
he loses the
oh
eagle,
boy.
but gets a second behind this as well. That's 3 villages down already for TaToH. No damage to Fire whatsoever. However, that mining camp deleted and out of there. Defensive tower coming up at home. Aggressive tower from TaToH.
Take a look. Reblocks now over here. And we see that happening indeed. What a beautiful move after beautiful move here. And are those villagers getting home? It seems like TaToH is misblocking it. Fire a bit better. Can we get the kill?
Oh, yes. TaToH knows this game. He's played it a long time. And look, that's what we saw there. Potentially even going to get the kill here on the villager here. And goes for the block. And it's perfect. The revenge is sweet.
Indeed, I didn't see that coming. Fire saw it coming from quite some time, right? He was leaving the mining camp, tried to get out, and still lost 2 villagers. That was kind of sloppy play on the woodline here.
Oh, man. I gotta say, I like it when it evens up like this so quickly. Good revenge from both players, or revenge from TaToH anyway. Fire just the aggressor in this situation.
Okay, now trying to go for the stone over here. Not too much happening. I still feel like I wanted to see a kill on that mill, only at 190 HP before reaching fuel age, so could do some damage. And oh, TaToH, he has a plan now.
What have we got? So trying to take out the barracks there, opening up the walls a little bit, denying that woodline. Woodline, of course, up in the south there for Fire as well, so he's not completely starved, but did have to relocate a couple of those villages, had to get the extra lumber camp up. But TaToH, those villagers are staying at the front there. 1 archer from Fire is all it takes, however, to knock down those walls. TaToH's going to have to delete them and get out of there, and those men-at-arms might even potentially get a kill here as well. And man, I thought it was using the archer to block there for a second, and I got so excited.
Actually, it makes a lot of sense, right? The men-at-arms are the damage dealers at the moment. Oh, misclicking here. Why is he trying to go for that mining camp?
That could have been another potential kill, and I guess Fire's dealing with something back home at the moment, and that's exactly what's happening. The men-at-arms coming through, having to fight with his villagers. Did pick off one on the way through the town center, but, oh, the uphill fight as well. Not what you want. losing one villager there against the Man-at-Arms, and all the Man-at-Arms still surviving. This has been a brutally aggressive game from the beginning.
Oh, and he lets
More.
those in. This is so evil.
Oh,
Those
no.
Man-at-Arms, not with the highest HPs, but look at how many idols he's forcing.
Oh, and if he fights the high ground fight as well, or is it he's just going to try and trail them, that's half of Fire's economy. And all still idle.
Oh,
And the
God.
downhill fight as well. There's another villager dead. That'll be at least one more.
Oh god, I'm not sure which one killed. It was like all four chilling there, and suddenly the villager was dying, but still. Oh god.
And is that another one that's trapped?
Don't
There's another
tell
one
me
that's trapped.
another
Fire
one.
must be having a... man, he must be not feeling this right now. There's another villager down. We're currently looking at 27 to 31. Tried to do the damage back home to TaToH where he could, but couldn't find it. TaToH's defensive play just so strong.
Okay, finally, Fire.
In range of the other tower.
I like that. Kind of trying to fight this down. Villagers around here. Can we maybe see some kills? The villagers at front kind of unprotected, but TaToH's eco isn't looking great either.
That's it. Everything is so clumped up. He's lost a lot of his space due to that one tower from Fire. Really effective play from him. And here comes the garrison on the tower, so we will be into the tower fight now. But the lumber camp killed off by Fire. Or
How
killed off
ugly
by
this is.
TaToH.
This is actually a spot where I feel, with that amount of villagers sent on one lumber camp, where you can build one tile away. To just have it. Oh, he's squeezing through over here as well. But
What?
might have been just let's see.
Again, so many idols.
I was sure that would have been walled off and they just run away, but apparently it was open and now finally cleared off here. Tries to fight that one down, but TaToH, he's fighting back.
He's doing his best not to let anything affect him in this game, and that's another villager shanked to death there by TaToH. He's just getting every kill he can here, making it as worthwhile as possible, and TaToH already with the 6 villager lead, and looks like he's ready to make his transition there. And second archery, or first archery I should say, from TaToH.
And already has 400 gold, so that's kind of him going for archers, not really the intuitive unit if you think about Slavs.
Ooh, and what have we got? TaToH, I want to say being greedy, but at the same time, he's pretty much locked Fire down. Obviously, he's lost all his military now, but I think everything's kind of cruising around, so he isn't too worried about taking the deer at the front. Blacksmith, and going for a market, actually. Looks like he wants to kind of even up his economy with that gold a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, castles often say like, yeah, he lost all his army here, but he actually lost all his army. He's at 0 military, and only now starting to some production of some archers.
But the military he did have, how effective was that? He got every dollar's worth out of it.
Absolutely, and now villager trying to go for some random quick walls, or not too random, just trying to zone out a bit. The market will go up. Thing is, what is his transition afterwards? We don't have a blacksmith yet.
What does he want to try and achieve here? Obviously the market, just to balance out the economy a little bit. And looks like that one shouldn't be able to deal with too much here. We'll be able to get back to the tower defensively without worrying too much. A forward barracks from Fire. Fire's not done with his aggression. He wants to push this even harder.
And that's back to only 1 barracks, right? So
yes,
that's potentially some eagles. Let's take a look at his resources. Has not the greatest gold, only 3 villagers in gold, but heavily on stone. So that actually should be a tower rush for me.
Yep, there we go. Right on point as always, Nili. Tower comes down at the front there. Going to try and deny a couple of those farms. Give him, of course, a staging point to utilize those men-at-arms. And like you were saying, if we see some eagles behind this as well, just to get into the economy, try and cause some ruckus. There's TaToH. I really thought he was going to lose a couple of villages there. But no stone from TaToH to be able to build any defensive towers from this.
Look at that, he's just short of 169 gold. He needs to buy himself a tower, and he's just running. And giving up those 3 farms, which had a lot of food. Look at that, they were just seeded.
This is really good for Fire, actually, in coming back into this match. He is still behind, 43 villagers to 36, but he does definitely have a military control now, and these towers are definitely allowing him to take a lot of map control.
And the next tower here, this is going to be really ugly. TaToH is trying to come over 4 archers, shouldn't really do too much. If we see some skirmishes, and we see 3 skirmishes.
There's
now
the eagle.
And now we see the counter tower did by himself that 100 stone that we wanted to see. Fletching against no fletching. Defensive tower will be annoying regardless.
Oh man, this is just absolutely starting to look dire for TaToH. He's losing map control here. The Eagles, of course, able to get into the economy. Lacking a lot of the upgrades, but scale mail on the way, so we'll be able to start beginning to deal with those archers quite effectively too.
Can he maybe do some damage with that counterattack? I don't see Fire with too much of a defense. 1 defensive tower here, but those villagers, they look pretty exposed.
And then you've got the scout there as well, so we've got the option for blocking, we've got the option to run them down. And Fire chooses to fight with the villagers. Not exactly sure in terms of what the plan was there, but TaToH, a lot of scouts out in play. He's also got the archer, so he's got a pretty good combination going for Feudal Age.
Uh-oh, and that bought him a bit of time for that watchtower. Remember that the villagers have an extra defense because we have the Inca bonus here. Another defensive tower here for Fire. One will probably die regardless. And those archers, can they sit themselves down here? No, he's trying to run around.
Oh, and there we go. Is that another defensive tower getting powered up by Fire as well? Looks like he wants to leave his economy pretty much as untouched as possible, but considering how the game's already gone, it might be a little bit too little too late. Aggressive tower going up as well in the middle of TaToH's base, slowly going for that full encirclement.
Yeah, he is leapfrogging himself forward. Even more defensive towers. And look at that Inca bonus. How did he get? Where did he get all that stone from? He even has 200 stone left.
Man, he's been on stone a while, but that's it. I guess the Incas, it's just proving how they're such a valuable civ in this state. And again, archers from Fire, archers from TaToH just getting pushed away by those towers. Fire slowly managing to get a secure hold on his eco, but still 7 idols for both players.
That idle TC, idle villagers here. Fire's macro, just not on point. Look at that. We didn't see so many villagers. We saw 3 over here, I believe, but that shouldn't justify being behind by 12.
It's such a big difference. This makes things really, really hard, actually.
Okay, no engagement for a small second, although it looks like TaToH is trying to go for it. He has a good idea where Fire's army is. Where is he heading?
I'm a little bit confused by this. We've got the Eagle Scouts there as well, so it looks like they're looking for an engagement against the Archers. Of course, the Scouts, they can fight the Man-at-Arms, but the numbers game is probably going to be the biggest issue here. Gets on top of it, and we're just looking for a good engagement here from either player. And the Eagle's beginning to try and get the hunt down, and Fire is looking pretty good, so TaToH's going to have to be out of there. And, oh, that's a stand ground if I've ever seen one.
Oh, loses one scout there quite unnecessarily. Another archer going down, now trying to run. This will be 4 scouts left. I'm expecting TaToH to have the resources to play Castle Age pretty soon.
Very close. Of course, he does have that market down, so if he does need to balance, he has the option there as well. Obviously not the exact approach he wants to take, but it can be used if possible.
Now goes also for wheelbarrow. Beautiful for Slavs. Look at all those farms. Needed to delete some at the front, but actually kept those alive, although the tower went up here, so nice defense by TaToH. Now going for stable number 2.
Whoa, number 2. This is starting to look rougher and rougher for Fire now. He needs to find a way to do some kind of damage to TaToH. 8 villages ahead. And that's 3 towers in the same spot, not making things easy at all. Eagle's trying to find a situation where they can move in, do some damage here, but look, the scouts are there ready to go, but this is quite a few Eagles from Fire. If he can get them all in the same spot and do some raiding, could really help him out.
Well, he's trying to go for the double rating here. Look at that at the top. Scouts defending that though. We have the defensive tower set up. And Fire, he's not having any attack upgrades. So the damage output not crazy. And this army, it looks like could easily be destroyed by 2 to 4 knights.
That's it. We've got bloodlines on the way already. The secondary stable's already up. Slavs, as we know, amazing civilization for this fact.
Oh man, the eco just so good. I always hear at the sitting over at the couch like MBL like, how does he have the resources to click up to Imperial Age? Slav are so broken. The eco simply is incredible.
It's absolutely great. Really, we can see TaToH's using it as best as possible here. And look at the scouts behind. Again, stand ground. But look at this. Fire not reacting in time. Will lose a lot of units before he even does start to engage the scouts. And pulled away from the tower as well. Tower weighing in on the battle here as well. And this is what happens.
And for TaToH, it's totally fine to trade scouts against eagles here. Because he doesn't really want to go for scouts. But Fire losing eagles hurts him way more.
That's it. The mass doesn't matter quite so much for TaToH. Whereas all the upgrades would affect these eagles.
But and goes for the final kill. Now reaches Castle Age. Resources for Fire are looking good to click Castle Age now, but only now going for barracks number 3. But another raid here at the top. That tower is still very annoying at the gold.
It's doing a good job of doing what it does, and that's just avoiding areas. So TaToH looks like he needs to figure out a way to kind of deal with this one. Of course, it will hurt his mass in terms of his stone count there. But look, he can't get his stone count in, but the gold is looking all right. He's got the early market, so he can begin to deal with this one. But the fire rating from Fire, again, just good.
Yeah, good indeed. But, well, eagles are going down, all of them low HP. And those towers, they just do reasonable damage against Feudal Age. Eagles here. What's the plan for Fire? He needs to be somewhat safe. Yeah, he has a lot of towers to defend, but I think he kind of needs something more, because villagers and towers won't really like instantly kill all those knights, and that's not really the way to get onto high eagle numbers.
Well, how how are they really going to scare them off? A couple of spears out in play, though, trying to do what he can. But, oof, there's another one. And another one. And, oh man, the villagers are even walling themselves here. Fighting the knights?
Oh, it's too... Yeah,
look, I know they're Inca villagers, but that's some brave villagers.
Spearmen are around trying to help out, but that was another 5 down. Villager difference now at 9. I'm not even sure if Fire has no wheelbarrow over here, so that difference is even higher. Now enough spearmen to defend, but TaToH's eco should just be way out of this world.
In comparison right now, we've got TaToH, 10 villagers in front. Fire still yet to hit Castle Age, only a couple of seconds away, but again, just so far behind. We've got TaToH already, crossbow, a bodkin arrow, he's ready to deal with those spears. Fire just hitting Castle Age now at minute 34.
Look at how thin TaToH spread himself. It's knights +1, +2 bloodlines, and now also crossbowmen with +2 attack. He can't have a lot of eco. I think he will try to play this with heavy pressure here in mid-Castle Age.
Oh, I like it, I like it. If he can go for a push like that, keep Fire on the back foot here, because he's already got him going. If he doesn't allow them to boom up, he doesn't allow basically him to begin to steamroll with the military, TaToH's just going to keep himself in such a better place for the rest of the game. We can see, though, Fire going down for those key upgrades, Chainmail, Eagle Warrior, and Pikeman, so we'll have a little bit of an ability here to fight the Knights, but the crossbows behind it, if microed correctly, we know they can take out the spears so effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. Those crossmen from behind will do so much. Eagle numbers aren't really that scary to buffer a lot, and it just feels like 6 crossmen will just take this out, or at least like can micro this so well. The tower might die in time, we will see about that. Not really right-clicking there, just patrolling with the whole group. Army of TaToHs coming over, and that shouldn't be a fair fight. Yeah,
that's not going to be what Fire wants to take, and look at that, some good micromanagement as well. Not letting the Knights into position, doesn't want to have to deal with those pikes against Knights, but the crossbows just pushing everything away before we can even see Fire begin to take the engagement.
Oh, he cannot take this one. Look at that, TaToH just debating, doing one hit, going back, kills pikeman, goes back. Now Eagles, okay, I will take that fight, and now he will swarm back again once the pikemen are coming over. Beautiful engagement.
This is what we want to see. This is some high-level Age of Empires, and this is what the zero lag does. Fantastic game. Fire calls the GG there. TaToH is one up in this best of 5 series.
Yeah, and that was a good game for sure by TaToH. It was a lot of pressure, right? He lost a lot of villagers to all that man-at-armor harassment, and let's take a look. I think that was my highlight scene of this match. Look at how he blocked that left eagle, left villager off. Beautiful move, and then he even went for the right one here. Isn't that pretty?
He gets 2. That's amazing play. That tower was so effective. It's a shame Fire really couldn't hold on for the rest of the game. TaToH just came in with a vengeance.
Yeah. But, well, Slav eco after that was really nice for him, and it just felt maybe a bit more of the walls here. He kind of failed with the quick walls there over and over again.
On so many times, and that's probably one of the worst trends we've seen from Fire in this entire tournament. The quick walls have just been struggling, and I would really like to see him just get their walls down a little bit earlier so he doesn't leave that one quite so much to chance anymore. Just because, man, he's such a good player, and that's where it keeps starting to hurt him.
Oh god, KD! I didn't expect it to be so bad, but in the end, like all the pikemen, the Eagles, he didn't really get any kills in the last 10 minutes of the game, right?
Absolutely. There was just a point where he couldn't get in to he couldn't take the engagement. So crossbows just meant anytime he tried to move in and take it, he lost so many units on the entry to the fight that it wasn't a fight worth taking.
But like, if you're just running away, it's like, there are like 3 ways to take a fight, right? There is your typical, okay, I engage and lose the fight. I engage and win the fight. And then there's like, okay, I engage, lose a unit, and go back. I engage, lose a unit, and go back. And you don't even do any damage. And this is what kind of Fire was kind of forced into. Oh.
Man, and it's a shame, because we did see, even then, we saw TaToH kind of embracing that as well with the Knights. He'd move forward, get the one hit, move it back, but then he had the crossbows behind, which were cleaning up everything coming forward. It just made it so hard for Fire to get ready, but we're about to head into a game number 2. TaToH currently in 1 victory, Fire at 0, for we're only in the second game, and this is TaToH's pick. Seize the hump. Nili, tell me, what are you expecting out of this?
I would have loved to see Person, but like that's kind of one-dimensional here. TaToH coming up with creative strategies here while training with DauT to even qualify for this tournament. And I think TaToH will have a very clear plan. We have to remember this is TaToH's home map, and I think he could have had other really good home maps. So I'm expecting him to go for something with a very strong thought-of plan. I go for Malians for him.
There you go. But that's pretty much exactly what we expect from TaToH. Such an adaptive player that's ready to kind of move into it, get his groove on. He comes up with the strategy specifically for the map, and I'd say that's one of his strongest points as a player. But TaToH, what have we got? The Malians. So TaToH in the blue, playing as the Malians, versus Fire, playing as the Celts in the red. We do have a West versus South game here.
And a very special creation here of Season the Hump. Most of the time, they are close together, and then the, well, hump kind of at the side. But this time, well, it functions a bit at the side. It's still fighting for the top here, but distances are a bit longer than most of the time.
I really like this, actually. I really like this map. Just because some of the ones we've seen, it's been such a kind of one-sided fight. Once someone's on the hump, they've kind of taken the win. Whereas this, it gives a little bit more option, because we still have that goal towards the south of TaToH's base, just on top of kind of the little hump there. So if you do get pushed off the main one towards the north of the map, you still do have something to come back to, but look, that may be talking an entirely different story here, because they have to survive the start before this even becomes too much of an issue.
I think if you are pushed from that area, this gold is never an option, right? if you are behind an army, like how do you protect that? Like 2 towers around or something? You kind of even need to box it in. This is a gold not really worth taking, in my opinion.
Oh, man. There we go. Shut me down, but it's fair. Look, I completely see that. It's a very, very low option.
Okay, now Celts against Malians. It kind of feels like we should see a man-at-arm opening here from both. What do you think?
Look, I think it's pretty much to be expected from both players, because early in the game, we can't expect them to lose any of this map control. The moment they lose that, the map is practically over. We've seen it in series after series. MBL versus Liereyy, both of them engaged fully. The moment someone lost the hump because they didn't have enough units to fight with, it was game over.
Yeah, and it just feels like Man-at-Arms is such a good unit to really start this off. This, by the way, is a beautiful mill spot for TaToH if he is scouting that and wants to go for it. Only sees the deer for now, so maybe he's just trying to push at home. Now gets spawn number 1, 4 on wood on his side. And Fire, he's already at the center.
Man, and that's probably 2 of the biggest differences we've seen between players on this map. It's whether you go for the lumber camp at home or whether you go for it aggressively on top of the hump. In the last series we saw JorDan versus Viper. I think both of them went for the defensive lumber camp at home, whereas eventually Viper managed to transition once he took map control. However, in this case, we've got Fire moving onto the hump. Do you think there's a bigger advantage moving straight onto the hump, or do you think it can be basically either way?
I will give you an answer that makes me happy. I don't know.
Hey, there we go. We still have so much to learn on this map.
And this is the map that has never really been played in competitive 1v1s too often. So people are still figuring it out. And it feels like, yeah, building it at home kind of means like those are solid wood lines. Like this summer camp would be really funny, for example, in here. And so that's an option. But then how do you ever transition into the center? People still don't know.
I guess probably the strongest thing we've seen throughout this is obviously the strong man-at-arms opening. If you do have a civ where they kind of get that bonus, like Celts, obviously, you can chase down those villagers. They're pretty much the fastest units like apart from scouts in Feudal Age, so it makes it very easy for them to be able to chase down anything, do the damage. Obviously, some well-microed archers can kind of outplay them, but it comes down to exactly how they get played.
And I thought man-at-arms, but this is going to be a drush, still not on gold here, so it will be potentially... Oh, that looks like 1 on gold. That looks like 1 on gold. This could be an internal drush.
Ooh,
this
I'm
could
really
be
excited
more
for this.
than 5 militias.
I'm really excited for this. It looks like TaToH's actually claimed some extra sheep from Fire there as well. And look, as far as it goes, getting him out of the map.
Yeah, tries to sneak them around here at the right-hand side. Knows that he just right-clicks them back to his TC. It's likely that they will get caught off guard here. And... now more militia. I think he really needs to wall the villager. I think it would have been a funny spot to just trap her in here.
Put the villager in from the get-go. I like it. But over towards Fire, he does have his lumber camp up on the main base there. He's getting an aggressive barracks down from him, actually. Going to make things a little bit harder to defend at home because TaToH's drush is already starting to come in. And it looks like TaToH's noticed this one. He could delay it.
Let's take a look.
Is he going to bring the militia back? He's going to bring the militia back.
Nice quick walls for now. 2 from the right-hand side. But those villagers at the berries kind of exposed. He is getting them home, though. Or is he? Needs to move away. And at the moment, not a single farm. This will be food income close to 0 pretty soon. Those 2 sheep lost. This is a tricky scenario for Fire when it comes to food income.
What can he really do? I guess he's got some hunt. Has he managed to explore much of the hump? Has he got a good edge on kind of the hump here where everything is, or is he really kind of stuck on this place now? Because obviously farms will give you some food once you're up in a feudal age, but that's not something you want to be committing all your wood into this early.
Truly not, and well, I was also wrong with the 5 militia here. It will just be the 3 and then followed up. Oh, nice wall here, but look at those villagers blocking each other. That's some idle time.
This hurts, and look at that. TaToH, he's actually taking the fight here. Might potentially even get a village. That scout should be able to run it down. And there we go. Should be... There's the crack.
And also does some damage on the scout here, and will have a reasonable feudal edge coming behind there. Look at that. 11-22, not too shabby at all.
Will he get that last villager? Probably not.
I think he could have committed here. What do we see on HP? Well, I think
the scout is very low as well. Of course, Fire has kept his militia alive, so he will have a little bit more map control at this point in the game. But Fire so close to transitioning now that he should be able to go for a little bit more of an aggressive playstyle.
And you just said it. It's so easy, or like he is about to transition, and I believe that's the main reason why TaToH didn't really commit to the fight here. He wants to have his scout alive. A scout? Probably more valuable than a lost villager here in this spot.
Well, that's it. He can see anything that's coming in. He knows how to prep now. He's got his walls up defensively around his gold. And look at that. He's seen the tower. He knows what's going on. And is that going to be villager out of there? Looks like he's not too worried about it, actually. Just going to move the villager out of there and make sure he doesn't lose anything. But secondary tower coming down. And that's going to be a little bit harder to deal with. There we go. He's deleted the walls and he pulls the villagers.
And where does he go? It's not looking too nice for him here. How much gold did he collect? He has 56 in the bank, so he can afford man-at-arms. Is dropping off some more. Will be another man-at-arm if he wants to go for it. Still, the food problematic here. For Fire.
It's just been such an uphill battle from him from the beginning. And look at that. The men-at-arms are coming in towards the town center. I have a feeling they're not going to find too much to work with. In fact, actually, I take my words back entirely. TaToH's moved his men-at-arms now out across the map. And it looks like he might actually get caught off guard here.
Ooh, 8 of gate pyres flying in. But that gate won't stand for too long. Not really anything to shut that down. Needs to build another palisade. And then... switches aren't too efficient anyways. And, well, scout around. And that's what I said. He's just scouting for weak points here.
And that's the thing, on a map like this, where it's so hard to wall, it's so open, and you're so far away from your town center, it's so easy to lose villages if you don't pay attention to it. And look at this, we should see the man-at-arms coming up towards, yep, there we go, on the gold, and I don't think Fire's seen it. They might even be able to block them in place.
That's 2 dead villagers instantly. He's at least saving the 2 at the top there, but that was some sick damage output. Saves those, but this is over top, Turkey.
Has he noticed? Tell me he's noticed.
He has no idea.
That's another 2 that are already ready to go.
And he just needs to
go. Oh! That is tight.
Get that one at least in time.
You're giving me heart attacks here, Fire. Come on. But back at home, he's trying to do what damage he can. I still can't see a body of a villager. Can't see anything lost. Skirmishers, they'll be able to clean this up. Look, slowly but surely he'll get there.
Oh man, nice aggressive tower here, as we saw earlier. 1 skirmish to defend. And look at the villager difference here. Brutal.
Oh man, for so early in the game, we're literally minute 14. We've got 8 villagers difference. TaToH having such a win here. And look at this. He's going to clean up these man-at-arms without too many issues now on top of this.
Well, it still takes some time. But he's not having any losses really. Expands more towards the center, is staying active here, but finally the hit squad of Fire is coming over and should potentially clear this up. 3 against 3 man-at-arms. TaToH not taking too much care here. This should be a nice clear up for Fire. 9 villages ahead. Food eco looks a bit better now. Still stays on gold with 2 villagers here. Nice micro by Fire. Gets a nice clear up and will clear up all those 3 man-at-arms without a single loss.
That's really nice to see, really nice to see. But Fire, he needs to find somewhere to do some damage. And look at these walls from TaToH. TaToH is giving him nothing to work with here. He needs to climb his way back into the game. But I don't know how he's going to be able to do it. TaToH's just playing such a defensive style here, while also being able to move out at the right points and take any kill he can find.
Oh man. What's really the next step here for Fire? I don't really see Man-at-Arms to be too efficient. I think maybe the +1 defense upgrade can do something. That 8 Man-at-Arms here.
Well, we've seen in the past, especially in the last Viper JorDan game, how much damage the Celt Man-at-Arms can do. You get the armor upgrade on them, you get the damage upgrade, and they can just absolutely walk through villages as if they're nothing. The problem is, though, that the fact that TaToH's already got his range out, so he has a way to deal with them, and with some good micromanagement, he can save a lot of his units very quickly.
Yeah, well, let's take a look. Oh, that's not the greatest engagement. Those Man-at-Arms obviously still pretty fast on their feet here. Skirmishers, well, they're doing 1 damage per shot, so that's not too scary. Still lacking fletching. We don't really have enough gold. And where is he getting gold? Oh, now take the one at the top.
I'm really liking this from TaToH. He's played such an excellent game this far, giving up next to and nothing for what he's been able to give. Trying to bait those Man-at-Arms back towards the town center, but Fire's having none of that. However, the dock from TaToH, but it will be denied by that 1 Man-at-Arm.
Oh god, I love TaToH so much. Because you have no idea, right? I knew when I saw this map, one of the first things was when I was checking, like, can you dock here? And yes, he could, and I felt like, I think no one will use that. Maybe except TaToH.
Except TaToH. I might need to go get my tie in a minute. We'll see how this goes. But Man-at-Arms in the lumber line there. Can do some damage to the villagers, but look at that. Skirmishers come in. I want to say they're going to clean it up, but... Oh, but through the corner!
How did that happen? Yeah, I'm walled in. I will slap you across the wall. Bop!
Man, that was such a close play. Again from TaToH, but loses it there. Just out, and there's the one demo. We know the Man-at-Arms, of course, quite quick, but... as long as Fire can get onto that landmass there, he should be okay. Once he's on the shallows, however, TaToH has a lot of control once those demos are out in play.
Oh, man. What a funny kill there, for sure. Damn, don't tell me that this is happening. Oh, God, I already have
move
this.
Move them, Fire. Move them. Those...
Oh, God.
Oh, move the skirmisher. Get them to attack the skirmisher. Good bait. The bait's good. Come on, pull them out onto the water. That's what you're doing. Good job.
Oh, tell me. Don't go for it. And he's going back, and TaToH is getting the kill. Oh, God.
What? Where's the horn?
Oh, God, gets the kill.
And that turns the game. Fire is out of there. Has to retreat home. What a play. 1 demo ship turns this around so quickly.
And now all the aggression is coming. Let's take a look at that one again. What a beautiful move for sure. And he is just coming over from the right-hand side. You see how he needed to retreat because the army was coming over, and he's just flying in and getting the kill. Boom!
That's so brutal. So brutal. This is what we expect from demos, and it shows exactly why the shallows are just... man, it's just an absolute key for brutality here. We can see TaToH trying to expand out a little bit more. He's got the tower to defend himself, but that's a lot of Man-at-Arms.
Yeah, there will be some dead villagers. They cannot really get into the tower. Apparently some villagers are already there, and that are some losses. Yeah, low HP Man-at-Arms, but you can even take the tower afterwards.
Oh, this is going to be this is really good, actually. Really good for Fire. He's got a lot to come back with after this. But look at that. There's the overchop. We've got ranged units here anyway. This could be a lot of dead villagers. Look, TaToH may lose the tower there, but depending on how many villagers are lost here, it may not even be worth it. And fighting with the villagers as well.
Oh God, this is a fist fight, and they have just taken off their gloves. Look at that. It's just madness here. That tower shouldn't really go up. Look at that. Against all these archers and skirmishers, that tower should never do anything.
How can that come up? And even then, we can see TaToH's patrolling around with his demo raft as well. Wants to make sure nothing's really going to happen here. Oh, man, that's it. Look, he can just have control. All he needs to do is take the fights in the shallows, and he can just obliterate an army in just one hit. And look, this might be the chance to even get rid of all the Man-at-Arms in play.
Oh, look at that. All of them so low HP, fighting under the towers over there, getting all the villager kills. And look at that. That's like 6 Man-at-Arms going down before the first real hit.
Man, and then again, this is the same thing we saw last game that you pointed out. He gets the attack, but then he's forced to disengage by the time he gets there. It makes it so hard to be able to fight an army like this. TaToH's micromanagement just proving to be so strong in this situation.
And that's simply not fights you can take, right? With some Man-at-Arms behind there, it could have been an option. And, oh, Goddy. What a beautiful and exciting game.
We got the demo ships, we got the Man-at-Arm aggression, we got villagers fighting Man-at-Arms. Like, what else do you want out of this? 42 villagers to 36, but the big number here being TaToH 24 military to only the 3. of Fire.
Yeah, he just decimated them so heavily here. Fire was trying to move in one by one, but look at that beautiful micro by TaToH. Just snacks them away. Villagers even thinking, okay, we can squeeze behind there, but the army's coming over and forcing Fire to tap out.
What an engagement. Fire can't be feeling well now. He was kind of gaming for the 3-0 in this series. He really needed it to stay alive. And look, he's had a rough series thus far. I really want to see Fire take one, but at the same time, I'm worried about his mental attitude at this point. Has he kind of gone into the point where he's like, this isn't doable? Or is he able to pull himself back up to do it and have a good win to kind of put himself on for the rest of this series?
A good win. Well, he needs to win 3, right? But TaToH just looked so on point, so creative with all his maps. And now I kind of know why he picked his nump.
Oh yeah, he knows what's up. He's got the tricks planned, and look, TaToH's one of the most adaptive players in the game. It's going to have all of these little tricks and tips kind of active, ready to go, and he's proved it time and time again. This map is no different.
Oh, look at Fire.
Oh.
He isn't feeling so great. Like, oh, God, that poor guy.
Do we have timeouts? Do we have tactical timeouts? Take a minute, grab a drink.
Oh, well, would really help him, but his dreams, like 2 series that he has no influence and 3 victories away from reaching the top 6 of NAC2.
It's a lot to ask, an absolute lot to ask. I really hope he has it in him to keep it more competitive, but at the end of the day here, this is, again, what we're running into. It's that mental fortitude. He's not looking happy with himself. Good news is he's having a little bit of a laugh now. He's got a smile on his face, so hopefully he's ready to go in, give him his all in one more game, and hopefully pull back a victory from TaToH.
What we love, I would really love to see that, because like his mental state is like, he kind of came here with hopes. Like I don't want to sound mean, but he seeded himself number 6. Like I did the seeding before and asked the players seed everything in. So he was considering himself to be one of the players going into the stage here, and he stayed every single night, came in early, trained his heart out.
Absolutely. And that's it. He was here at the nights. He was making sure everything felt right. He was getting the games in, making sure he was in the zone, really getting to feel. And it's just a shame that it really hasn't paid off for him thus far.
Yeah, but like, honestly, on paper, we have sick names in this lineup, right?
This tournament is just a highlights Golden Globe nominee of Age of Empires.
Yeah, we're kind of only missing some Chinese players, but it is kind of the who is who. And Fire, if we have to list the top 6 players in the world, even without Chinese, he's probably not on that list.
Look, it's definitely a hard thing to formulate, but I think you are right there, as much as it does hurt to say. But come on, Fire, we want to see you pull one out of this. Give us a victory. Give us something to cheer for.
He will have more experience on Flooded Cross, right? He played it throughout qualifiers. He's the guy with most experience over all qualifiers, getting into the finals twice. And, well, TaToH, he hasn't really played that to begin with. Obviously, cast a lot of games, discussed it with DauT, so he will know what's up. But maybe some adjustments could be a bit better by Fire because of his experience.
Absolutely, and it looks like we are ready to kick into the next game here. We are at game number 3, TaToH 2, Fire on 0. This could potentially end the series if TaToH secures himself another win. But Fire, we are hoping for the comeback special here. It would be nice to get to all 5 games, but we're just going to have to wait and see exactly how it does decide to play out. We are on Flooded Cross. Nili, introduce who we've got.
In the blue trunks, we have Mr. TaToH playing the Hunt. Not needing to build houses means he can transition so much easier onto water and land at the same time. And the red, we have Mr. Fire playing Japanese. Cheaper lumber cams and better fish is what he is aiming for.
Alright, not a map like this as well, for those that don't know. Lots of fish in every single corner of the map here. So those fishing ships are going to really make a big place in terms of their economy. TaToH, how are we looking in terms of his map spawn here? Doesn't look too bad, a little bit of a hill around, but look, this has started to become pretty common. But man, Fire is out for the lame. He wants to make sure he takes every advantage he can here. And look, he's 2-0 down in the series. I say go for it.
Look at this direct.
Right past the town center. Right into the town center.
What is happening here? Look at Fire's face. Look at how he's he was like,
And the worst part is Fire's already called his re. He used it in game 1.
He knows it's not. He's just running home, tries to get it into the scout line.
Not gonna happen.
Oh god, this is so evil for him. This reaction. That was just priceless.
It would have been nice to see, but sadly it just did not work out in his favor here. And look at that. TaToH is just hunting him down. He knows that scout cover is only a couple of hits away from death. And that boar wanders back to position.
Oh god, I want to take a look at his face again. Look at that, how he was screaming over there. He was going in there and he was just like,
no!
Couldn't really hold it, man. He was.
And look at that smile on TaToH's face as well. He knew exactly what was happening there, and he would have such an advantage here from the beginning of the match.
Oh, man, and I love those players around here and how much they're
those
enjoying
bore
their
for
time.
fire, though. Oh, man, that's a little bit rough. All the way behind the lumber there as well. Look, shouldn't be too much of an issue for a player to get, especially considering we're playing on 0 lag here, but it's not what you want to see.
And don't you think, like, I think the Viper just takes those 2 boars with the sheep block. But Fire, he goes for Loom.
Look, interesting, definitely. I don't even know if I want to say playing it safer, because with the 0 lag and the sheep block, it means you're not even worried about the boar catching up to you. And if we got TaToH, it looks like he's getting ready to put his dock down there as well. Was getting his shorefish, and Fire going for the exact same style of play here as well. And that villager will get it back to the town center without too much stress.
And it looks like it would have even survived another one. 3rd hit now coming in, and yeah, we'll get to the TC before the 4th hit. So Loom wasn't really necessary here. Well,
doesn't garrison.
We'll get a 4th one now because he wants to buy himself some more time. Nice move here. Doc is coming up for Fire and for Mr. TaToH.
Pretty much exactly what we can expect. I really like the fact they're on that same line there. So we should see a lot of aggression between these two. Nobody wants to give away the water advantage because the fish boom is so strong if you can get up into it. You can start raiding your opponent's economy all you want, but they're just going to have that constant income of fish.
Distance kind of short. Most of the time we have them kind of crossed, on flooded cross here, and therefore along the distances. But here, just fire galleys could be a good option coming over, and Japanese fishing ships, they're quite tanky.
Look at that beef, 120 HP on them. Takes a long time for a fire ship to take them down.
Indeed, and here another boar now takes this one at that side from the wood line. Not sure if that bugged out or what happened there.
But hey, both the boar are going to be in. I don't think we're going to be looking at a loss here, or at least hopefully we shouldn't. I don't think Fire's that tilted. He is a very good player when it comes down to it. And looks like onto berries as well.
Why is that? Berries and fishing ships? That's something we rarely see.
Look, that's the bit that's kind of confusing me, and kind of the reason I decided to point it out. I'm not... My solid answer is I don't know, Nili. We'll have to find out as this goes, whether he's going for some kind of ridiculous food-heavy play, or if he's not confident he'll be able to hold the water and needs that little bit extra food. But at this stage, there shouldn't be any worry on the water.
Yeah, I think... this has to be something on heavy food, where he feels that 4 fishing ships won't be enough. Normally we see man-at-arm opening, some on wood, some gold collected, but Fire, well, he will still have a reasonable uptime. TaToH's one looks pretty sharp though, 946. And we will write down that question. Professional interviewer Turkman here is like, why do you build a berries, although you already have fish? For example, TaToH is skipping that. We'll try to go for 4 fishing ships. Now the dock at the front. Send some villagers on gold. This will be man-at-arms from our hunt player.
Oh, it's pretty much expected, I would say. You did say a lot earlier as well. This is pretty much the constant opening we do see. Players are quite close to each other here as well. Definitely not in kind of that outer corner that we can see in Arabia sometimes, where we have the biggest rush distances in the world. But Fire, going for those defensive walls nice and easy. TaToH is going to scout it, so he knows exactly what's going on, so hopefully... Ooh.
He wanted to go for
He wants it. He wants it bad. Sees the mining camp as well, so Fire has a lot of intel to work with now.
TaToH has a lot of intel to work with.
TaToH, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. And, TaToH sees open gold spot here. Maybe let's tower that. How should scout that, though? And Fire, he will be pushed away from his gold spot. Where are his gold spots positioned? We didn't even mention that. Look at that. Kind of open, and his 3rd one over here. This could be pretty ugly for Fire, and he is up a solid minute later.
And we've got TaToH coming forward with the villagers as well. So do we spy another tower? The answer is yes, we do. Right on top of the gold, they're going to be able to deny pretty much the only gold that that Fire has access to. TaToH doing a great job with his scouting to realize this.
But also a great job with the outpost. Fire kind of anticipating that this could be a tricky area to lose. Maybe let's get some vision here and try to see that we don't lose too many villagers. Is getting as much gold as possible, and once the tower finishes, he will get all the villagers out there.
Vacate the area. And it looks like extra wall off coming behind this as well. Man, Fire wants to leave nothing to chance here. Wants to make sure he can get everything he can out of these spots. But look at that. He's got no gold. And even then, he went for such a quick, aggressive play with the scout in terms of the ball lure. I don't know if he's got really enough information to know where the rest of the golds are.
Well, I don't know. Let's check. He saw all his 3 gold spots.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So he at least found all his golds on the way forward. So it's not completely going to be an issue there for him.
Look at that. He has 500 food in the bank. Is going for 2 fire galleys. And TaToH, this sneaky guy, already building the second dock. And he was greedy with his fishing ships as well.
That's a lot of fishing ships in play. Generally, upon up, we kind of expect about 4, roughly. Whereas here, he's already on 7, and we've got the extra dock going up right next to fire as well. So he's going to have such a quick reinforce here. Plus, he's trying to pull as much resources as he can.
Oh, that was close. He didn't click the gate earlier.
I am stressing. I am at like 180 BPM right now. TaToH, oh, you're forcing these things in fire. You're just leaving it too late. Too late.
Okay, let's take a look. Now we have going for the aggressive mill here. Still all the gold control. Let's take a look if TaToH sees all the gold spots. And he only scouted 2, so he has no idea about this 3rd gold. So at the moment he feels like, okay, I delayed a lot, but he doesn't know if he delayed everything.
Oh man, and fire moving out. Looks like he does want to take that extra gold. Obviously quite risky. He's so far away from the town center. But look at this. TaToH trying to find it, and it looks like he does back off. Will he see the villagers, however? Is that what he's going for here? Looking for that extra, and look at this. TaToH knows what's up. This is game sense, guys. We've been seeing this all throughout the entire tournament. These players do not leave anything alone.
Does he really know? Like, those all 5 villagers are unspotted. He only scouted that one. That could have been just a villager trying to go for a sneaky dock or something.
I think you might be right here. He hasn't followed this one up. It was good game sense, but didn't get everything.
Okay, so let's see. We have the stable switch now for fire. Makes a lot of sense with all the food he had. 2 defensive fire galleys losing a lot of HP. TaToH with very little losses. Villagers coming over trying to repair this one. Now 3rd fire galley joining the fight though. And I think this should be doable for fire. TaToH, is he queuing up more? Yes, he is.
And not utilizing that dock back home at the moment either. I guess at the same time, he is only worried about the 1 dock of fire, but look at this. Fire going for that sneaky dock like you were talking about, and TaToH is still scouting around the back, trying to find whatever he can.
And he can find the stable here. We have how many scouts out? 3. We'll go for some more. And arms are coming around. They shouldn't really do too much. Maybe even lose some HP to the fire galleys at the side. If TaToH is not taking care, let's take a look. No, but he's going back. What can the scout